National Institute for Science and Mathematics Education Development, or UP-NISMED, is a research and extension unit of the University of the Philippines. Guided by its mandate to improve science and mathematics education, NISMED performs three major functions: research, curriculum development, professional development, and extension services. Through the years, NISMED has been generating new knowledge regarding science and mathematics teaching in the country. Research outputs, such as teaching materials, are tried and tested to teachers and students inside the classroom. Relevant and innovative teaching materials are made available online and at NISMED publications for distribution. In addition, NISMED is highly involved in the framing of the National Science and Mathematics Basic Education curricula. Equipped with subject area specialists, NISMED offers professional development programs which cater to the needs of teachers and educators in the country and Asia-Pacific region. These training programs deepen teachers' understanding of the subject areas they teach. NISMED promotes science teaching through inquiry and teaching mathematics through problem solving. Not only it conducts training programs, but also mentors science and mathematics teachers in the elementary and secondary levels. NISMED also promotes Lesson Study, a school-based teacher professional development model which originated in Japan and is now gaining popularity in the country. To reach out to various communities, NISMED uses different platforms online. It also ventured into television to popularize science among general viewers and used radio to reach out to more teachers and the public.
Ito po ang programang sadyang inangdol ng UP-NISMED.
To further its extension services, NISMED regularly conducts stargazing activities to accommodate school requests. It regularly opens its laboratories, providing opportunities for students to learn science and mathematics concepts and practice their applications. To conduct more effective programs and activities, NISMED partners with both local and international organizations. Committed to excellence, NISMED programs have continuously been achieving awards and recognitions. Since its establishment in 1964, NISMED continues its journey of commitment and service to lead the nation in science and mathematics education.
Today, we are witnessing the great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn.
Teaching science and mathematics through storytelling.
Teacher time out.
Feeling the mental health impact of the pandemic.
Building water rockets. A narrative from the Tubata.
Built the Tubatahari Natural Park.
Science and mathematics at twice. Second part, which is pick up and release the stick at the same time, letting them fall.
Maganda rin na pataasin natin yung level ng mastery ng mathematical thinking ng ating mga students.
Sinabi natin positioning, paano ba yung pag-position ng teacher sa sarili niya at paano ba niya pinoposition yung mga estudyante.
Or you know that learning has occurred if there is a shift in the learner's discourse about the topic at hand.
Pag nasagot ng bata na nag-vibrate ang eardrum, pag may sound na naririnig, nabubuo niya yung concept, no? Nung physiology of hearing a sound. No?
Collaborate with other experts for better understanding of science concepts.
So dito, pinaplano ng teacher kung paano ba dapat yung dapat na matutuhang content o knowledge ng learners, pati na rin yung skills na dapat nilang ma-practice or ma-develop.
Gagawin ko dito sa kanila, ipapaloob ko siya dito sa convention cup natin.
Ang gusto natin ay T, tamang, M, mental, E, effort. Tamang mental effort lang.
Sali ka.
Alika!
Kasali ka.
Kasali ka.
Kasali ka!
Kasali ka!
Kasali ka.
Kasali ka!
Kasali ka.
Kasali ka!
Kasali ka!
Kasali ka.
Kasali ka!
Go teacher, go!
Kagapay ng makabagong guro.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and attendees, welcome to the celebration of UP NISMED's 59th anniversary. We're thrilled to have you, each and every one of you here today as we embark on an exciting journey of knowledge and discovery. Before we dive into the heart of our event, I'd like to draw your attention to a special happening on the first floor. May napansin po kayo mga displays doon. The National Institute for Science and Mathematics Education Development has meticulously crafted a collection of resource materials. Additionally, we are proud to introduce new training programs designed to elevate the standards of education and professional development. To witness the unveiling of NISMED's latest publications and training programs, kindly turn your attention to the screen.
And welcome to the 59th anniversary celebration of the UP National Institute for Science and Mathematics Education Development. Thank you, dear guests, for gracing this occasion. I am Mona Lisa Pisasi, the Deputy Director for Research and Extension of the Institute. Now, allow me to present to you the print and non-print STEM resources and courses that the Institute has developed the past year. In collaboration with our partners in Department of Education, UNICEF Philippines, and the Foundation for the Promotion of Science and Mathematics Education and Research. We are proud to showcase 4 digital stories over there. And this is the first ever accessible resources that UPNISMED developed. The stories are developed to provide young learners who are disadvantaged with accessible and quality learning resources that are aligned with the Department of Education's Matatag curriculum. The first story is titled The Ever-Changing Weather, which aims to teach young children the varying weather that we experience each day and how our activities are influenced by it. The second is Coco's Bumpings, which aim to teach young children the concepts of shapes and colors and the patterns involving them, together with the importance of careful observation and following proper instructions to be able to come up with the desired results. The third story is titled Myong is Missing. This focuses on informing children what dugongs are from their appearance, habitat, and diet, and also on raising awareness among young children regarding the conservation of dugongs. The fourth story is about Patty's favorite. This aims to teach young children to identify an indoor and outdoor hazard and what are the necessary safety procedures that need to be done in each situation. Another set of learning resources are the accompanying video materials over here. These are for our grade 9 self-learning module on ionic and covalent bonding. The video series is divided into 3 parts. The first part showed an activity demonstration about ionic compounds, making use of household materials. The second part is about covalent compounds, while the last part tackles the properties of both ionic and covalent compounds. UPNISMED is also proud to showcase to you this morning our print materials, one of which is the guidebook on exploring Earth and space with emerging technologies over there. And this guidebook highlights the use of technologies in teaching concepts in geology, meteorology, and astronomy. These activities include the earthquake simulator, the simple weather station, and satellite antenna. You may try them out later after the ribbon cutting. These UPNISMED developed resources offer activities that provide opportunities for your students to ask questions, gather evidence, and provide explanations as they make use of emerging technologies. Another great material over there is the teaching guide on human reproductive system. The teaching guide aims to support teachers in teaching topics about human reproductive system. This teaching guide has 5 activities that provide teachers and students with an easy and systematic way of teaching and learning concepts on body systems. We are also happy to present to you our short-term courses that aim to develop the digital competence of teachers. These courses comprise of various topics from the usage of emerging technologies in STEM to the application of digital resources in the classroom. The posters are over there. You can read more on them later. The first course is on 3D printing for teachers. The second course is teaching STEM with microcontrollers. The third course is a course on GeoGebra, empowering educators with dynamic mathematics instruction. And the third course is on STEM education and research through generative AI. And now, to formally launch these STEM resources and courses, may I call on our Chancellor, Chancellor Edgardo Carlo L. San II, the Dean of the College of Education, Dr. Jerome Belviaje, Ma'am Diane Calwat, the officer in charge of the University of the Philippines Integrated School, and our Director, Dr. Charlene C. Monterola, for the ribbon cutting. Yeah, go. Sure. One, two. Yay! For another photo shoot. Grounders. After the ribbon cutting, please feel free to tour around and browse our resources and learn more about the core courses. My colleagues will be stationed in the display area, ready to answer your questions to help you browse through the materials. May I also ask the other guests to please join us for the photo op, and all these staff, please.
Right. Ayan naman. Set. Set. Balikan.
So good morning po. Before we start, siguro tignan muna natin sino pa nga yung mga bisita maliban po sa ating mga speakers. Sino po ang mga classroom teachers po dito? Si Sana. Ayun. Tamang science. No? How about classroom teacher po ng math? Ay, medyo madami-dami. How about yung ibang subjects naman po pero interested sa STEM? Hindi po ba tayong bisita? Okay. And then yung mga may estudyante ata tayo, may students tayong mga bisita. Okay, at mga instructional leaders naman po. Sino pang ating mga instructional leaders? So I can see them, I'm familiar with them. And also from different agencies po sa University of the Philippines. Mamaya siguro darating, no? Okay, so ako po ay nabigyan na ng prompt na mag-start. So good morning once again, esteemed guests. As we embark on today's program, I would like to invite everyone to rise for the singing of the Philippine National Anthem, which will be gracefully followed by an opening prayer.
Bayang magiliw, peros ng silanganan, alam ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y bungay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupin, kita masisingil, sa lagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mo bangay. May nilang ang tula at awit sa paglayang tinamahal, ang kisap ng watawan mo'y nagumpay na nagiging, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pagpalik magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng maraming pagsita, buhay namin sa likod. Aming ligaya naman may mamagin, at namatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Our dear Almighty Father, we express our sincere gratitude for the gift of another day. We ask forgiveness for our sins, for which we lay our regrets and sorrows. Thank you for your overflowing and unending patience, kindness, and love that you shower us every day of our lives. Today, as we gather for this special event, we humbly seek your divine providence to help us share your grace to others. Help us engage in meaningful discussions by giving us wisdom, understanding, and guidance. Help us learn and grow and love one another so that we can become better children of yours. Amen.
So, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, and honored members of the academic community, a gracious good morning to each and every one of you. I am Ivan Mejia of UP NISMED, and I am delighted to stand before you today as the host of the 59th anniversary celebration of UP NISMED. Isang taon na lang, 60th anniv na namin. A remarkable milestone in the Institute's journey of excellence. Today, our celebration takes a forward-thinking stride, anchored in the theme fueling sustainable growth through tech-driven STEM teaching and lifelong learning. In the spirit of innovation and pursuit of knowledge, we are honored to present a distinguished public lecture that promises to ignite insightful conversations and inspire transformative ideas. To commence our celebratory proceedings, it is with great pleasure that we extend an invitation to Chancellor Edgardo Carlo L. Vistan II from the University of the Philippines, Diliman, to deliver the welcome address. Sir.
Cheryl Lynn Rola, Director of UP SMED, Dean Romeo Viaje, the Dean of the College of Education, the representatives of our partner organizations, fellow teachers and participants online and in person. Thank you all for still attending despite the rescheduling for those here, despite the transport strike. It's with great pleasure and profound appreciation that I extend the formal and cordial welcome to all of you in commemoration of the 59th anniversary of the UP National Institute for Science and Math Education Development, or UP NISMED. As Chancellor, I stand before you with a deep sense of pride, recognizing UP NISMED's unwavering commitment to its institutional mandate and offering sincere congratulations on the Institute's attaining the significant milestone of its 59th anniversary. I wonder what's in store for your 60th anniversary. The theme of this year's public lecture, Fueling Sustainable Growth Through Tech-Driven STEM Teaching and Lifelong Learning, harmoniously aligns with UP NISMED's foundational mission. Today, we collectively embark on an intellectual exploration of the intricate intersections between technology, education, and the perpetual pursuit of knowledge. A sincere and heartfelt congratulations again to UP NISMED for consistently upholding and adhering to its mandate, fostering a legacy of excellence in science and mathematics education. We applaud the institution's pivotal role in shaping the minds of future leaders and innovators. I extend a formal welcome to our esteemed speakers, Dr. Scott Bartholomew and Dr. Ethel Agnes Pascua Valenzuela, whose profound contributions reflect the global impact of collaborative knowledge exchange. Their presence today, albeit virtual, serves as a testament to the shared commitment to advocating STEM education. To our esteemed partners, the Department of Education, the Department of Science and Technology, SEI, DOST, AMCEN, System, ILO, ABC+, UNICEF, Maker Lab, Unilab Foundation, His Excellency Johann Breger, Austrian Ambassador to the Philippines, our dear teachers, all of you, your unwavering support has been instrumental in our collective mission to advance education and foster innovation. Together, we pave and build the way for a sustainable future. For joining us in person, your presence is not only deeply appreciated but celebrated. To our virtual audience, a formal and gracious welcome to the live stream broadcast on the UP NISMED's Facebook page. The digital realm does facilitate the transcendence of physical boundaries, enabling the exchange of ideas and knowledge in unprecedented ways. As we collectively embark on this intellectual journey, let us reflect upon UP NISMED's rich legacy and contemplate the limitless possibilities that lie in the intersection of education, technology, and lifelong learning. I am truly grateful for all of your for participating in this celebration. Together, let us inspire, innovate, and illuminate the path towards a sustainable and brighter future. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat.
Thank you very much, Dan. Before we continue our program, we would like to appreciate the presence of our colleagues, Ms. Diane Kaluwag, Officer in Charge of the University of the Philippines Integrated School, ma'am. Dr. Jerome T. Buenviaje, Dean of UP College of Education, sir. At this juncture, we take a moment to recognize the invaluable contributions of our esteemed organization partners who have been integral to the success of our institute. In this collective journey, our organization partners have played a pivotal role, contributing to the rich tapestry of accomplishments that define our shared mission and vision. In recognition for their unwavering commitment, we are privileged to present certificates, and tokens of appreciation to each of our esteemed partners. May I invite once again Chancellor Edgardo L. Vestan II and our Director, Dr. Sherilyn Monterola, to on stage together with the representatives from the first batch of our partners. Engineer Ronald Joaquin Habate, Project Technical Specialist, one of POST MIRDC Advanced Manufacturing Center AMCEN, Academician Wendell R. L. Rivera, and Academician Jose Maria Balmaceda, members of the DOST National Academy of Science and Technology, or NAST, Philippines Executive Council, Mr. Juliven Abrea, Senior Education Program Specialist of the DepEd Bureau of Learning Delivery, Ms. Lilia Lagrimas, Senior Education Program Specialist, Mathematics of the DepEd Bureau of Curriculum Development, Mr. Florentino Varon Jr., Education Program Specialist of the Department of Education, National Educators Academy of the Philippines, Education Futures of the Department of Education, and last for the first batch, Dr. Reynante C. Caligiran, Schools Division Superintendent of DepEd Division of Cagayan, who is with us via StreamYard. I also call on Yahe and Ma'am Biat Aluwag to award the certificates and tokens to our partners. Allow me to University Institute for Science and Mathematics Education Development presents the Certificate of Recognition to our partners for its exemplary and steadfast dedication to the advancement of STEM education in the Philippines as a valued partner. This certificate recognizes the invaluable support and collaboration extended to the University of the Philippines, National Institute for Science and Mathematics Education Development, leaving an enduring impact on future generations. Given this 24th day of November 2023 in Diliman, Quezon City, Philippines, signed Sherilyn C. Monterola, Director. Marami-rami po yung partners natin, no? Like them. So we have another batch too. So let's have the photo opportunity for our batch 1 partners. And we will also give the tokens for our partners. One photo opportunity with the, okay na po, tokens and ano? Okay na, okay, sige po. Now, may we request Chancellor Vestan and Dr. Monterola to remain on stage as we continue to honor another batch of our esteemed partner institutions. Mrs. Lucille C. Gregorio, Director of the Foundation for the Promotion of Science and Mathematics Education and Research. Mr. Melvin Magsayo, Deputy Executive Director of Center for Integrated STEM Education, or SISTEM. Ms. Marie Joan Armada Orieta, Project Implementation Manager of Unilove Foundation Incorporated. Ms. Valerie Farol, Professional Development Manager of the Advancing Basic Educations in the Philippines, or ABC+. Nicolas Tenasas, Education Specialist, and Jamie Lourdes Donato, Education Consultant at the United Nations Children's Funds, or UNICEF Philippines. Ms. Lights Viloria, Senior Project Officer from International Labor Organization or ILO in the Philippines. And Mr. Mike Jason C., founder, and Mr. Voltaire Gaviola of Maker Lab Electronics. Let's have the certificates. Photo opportunity for batch 2. Step forward po. And give your best man for the 59th anniversary. Okay. May we call on again the batch 1 partners to join the batch 2 partners for a big group photo opportunity. Batch 1 partners. Again, thank you to our partners for being the cornerstone of our achievements. And we look forward to the boundless possibilities our future collaboration holds. Thank you for supporting STEM education, the ecosystem of STEM education. At this point, we would also like to recognize our participants who are joining us here in the auditorium. Miss Abby, may I have the list? I would like to the following institute who are joining us today is from Technological Institute of Manila. Sir, asan po sila? Ayan. Salamat po sa pagdalo. Tanyong High School. Tama ba to? Okay. Department of Education Schools Division Office of Rizal. Sir, okay, ang dami. Okay. Rizal National Science High School, STO Rizal. Yun din. Okay. And we have from North Fairview High School. Ayan. Okay. Pasay City South High School. St. Vincent School of Quezon City Incorporated. Ayan, si ma'am. Saka si Malinta National High School. Pasay City East High School. Pasay City West High School. Ayan, 1 million si ma'am. Commonwealth High School. Carlos Botong V. Francisco Memorial National High School. Ateneo de Manila. Okay, hi sir. And Pateros Catholic School. Asan po sila yan? Maraming salamat po sa pagdalo. And we would also like to warmly welcome our viewers who are joining us from Facebook. Say hi. Live via the UP NISMED Facebook page. And on YouTube, live via the NISMED TV channel. Meron po kaming TV channel, so subscribe na, okay? So ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the next part of our program, which is our first plenary talk. The question and answer part of this talk will be after the third plenary talk. Nevertheless, you are encouraged to take note of your questions. Now, I'd like to call Ms. Carolina Maramag, the Deputy Director for Administration of UP NISMED, to introduce our guest speaker for the first plenary talk. Ma'am?
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure to introduce our first resource speaker for today's public lecture. Dr. Scott Bartholomew grew up in Orem, Utah in the USA and served as a missionary for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Lawag City, Philippines. After his missionary service, Dr. Bartholomew earned his bachelor's and master's degrees in technology and engineering education from Brigham Young University or BYU. He taught technology and engineering classes in the middle school for 3 years before pursuing his PhD in curriculum and instruction from Utah State University. Then he became an assistant professor of engineering and technology teacher education at Purdue University in Indiana. He taught there for 4 years before joining the faculty of BYU. He and his wife, Julie, are currently living in Woodland Hills with their 5 children. Scott, as we call him, is actively involved in local and national professional organizations such as the Utah Association for Career and Technical Education and the International Technology and Engineering Educators Association. Scott enjoys working on STEM teacher professional development across schools, districts, and countries. While he was here in the Philippines as a Fulbright scholar, just this July of this year, he conducted series of workshops on design thinking and computational thinking using microbit with the staff and faculty of UP NISMED and the UP College of Education. Scott's research interests revolve around adaptive comparative judgment for open-ended design problems, integrative STEM education, and STEM teacher professional development. Today, he will be sharing with us his knowledge and insights into how we can navigate and prepare for the future landscape of STEM education. So, without delay, let us all extend a heartfelt welcome to Dr. Scott Bartholomew.
Well, mabuhay. Magandang umaga sa inyo lahat. I'm really sorry that I can't be with you, but because of the change of time, it didn't work with my schedule as well. Kasi ngayon ang Thanksgiving, national holiday dito sa amin. My name is Dr. Scott Bartholomew, and the title I've chosen for my presentation is Why Do We Need School Anyway? And I apologize for my voice. I'm just getting over a cold, so sinisipon ako. But it's getting a little better, and hopefully you can hear and understand me just fine. I'm very excited to be with you today. So hold on, it's gonna be a bumpy ride. This is one of my favorite pictures I have of Butiki. We're gonna talk a little bit about why do we even need school, and how do we prepare for a future that's coming. Okay, so I'd like to start with just a few quick introductions of myself. I know many of you, pero marami din dyan na di ko pa nakilala. So I was a service missionary in the Philippines noong 2004 hanggang 2006. And pagkatapos yan, I returned to us and got a bachelor's and a master's degree in technology and engineering. And then nagturo ko sa middle school for 4 years. And I taught career and technical education classes, or STEM, everything from woodshop to video production, graphic design, physics with engineering, electronics. I taught all those classes. I got my PhD at Utah State University. Pagkatapos yan, naging professor ko sa Purdue University in Indiana. And I was a professor there for 4 years before nakabalik ako sa BYU. as a professor, and I've now been at BYU for 4 years. And katatapos ko lang yung Fulbright ko dyan sa inyo, sa UP Diliman, noon April through August 2023. And talaga nakakamiss yung Pilipinas. Nandyan yung puso ko sa Pilipinas. This is a picture of my family. You can see my wife. Her name is Julie. And my oldest is a girl named Kylie, si Ate. Si Kuya is Dallin. Dallin is 9. Kylie's 11. Carson is 6. Mason is 3. Napakalaki niyan. And then Easton is 1 year old. And this picture was taken at Blue Lagoon in Pagutput, one of the prettiest beaches I've ever been to. And we were very grateful for our time and our opportunity to be in the Philippines. And I'm grateful sa opportunity ngayon to talk to you a little bit about STEM education and the future of STEM education and why do we need school anyway. So I want to start off with a story. When I was teaching middle school, one of the first things I bought was a T-square dito sa kaliwa, and a triangle, and a drafting board. And I bought those because I wanted to teach my students how to draw. I wanted to teach them how to sketch and prepare drawings when they were designing something. And I bought those and I brought them to my classroom, and lahat ng mga ibang guro, tawang-tawa nila. Sabi nila, bakit? Babo binili yan? Napakaluman yan. They said, this is old technology. We don't draw things like this. We use a computer. Why would you buy T-squares and drafting boards and pencils and things like that? Just teach the kids on the computer. You don't need to have them draw things by hand. Pero yung pakiramdam ko, feeling ko talaga, kinakailangan yan. Kailangan na may mga skills dyan sa pagguhi na, basic sketching, drafting, paggamit ng mga T-square, triangle, drafting board. But I thought about this question. Do students really need to learn how to use a drafting board and a T-square and a triangle? Is that important knowledge today? Do they really need to know how to do that? Excuse me. With all the technology we have and the programs, do students really need to know how to use those? Is that an important skill? So, pag-isipan niyo yan. Mahalaga pa ba yan? Hindi na. Okay, let me tell you a second story. This is one of my students. Her name is Emerson. Okay, and Emerson is in an electronics class right now. But during class, Emerson never takes notes. She just sits there. She just sits and watches the whole time. She doesn't ever take any notes. And one day, I asked Emerson, tinanong ko, bakit? Bakit wala kang notes? Bakit wala kang isinusulat dyan sa klase? And Emerson said, I don't need to take notes. I just listen. Pinapakinggan ko lang. Pagkatapos, ipapagawa ko kay ChatGPT yung notes ko. So she just types in the topics and she has ChatGPT make all of her notes for her. And they are beautiful. Napakaganda talaga ng mga ginawa ng ChatGPT. Ng mga notes niya, napaka-organize niyan. May mga pictures pa. She said, ChatGPT can make notes so much better than I can. I just listen. And then I let ChatGPT do all the work. So this is a second question. Should students take notes? Oo, hindi. And bakit? If you think yes, why? Why should students take notes? If ChatGPT can make notes that are prettier and more organized and more complete and perfect, di ba? Perfecto yung mga ginawa ng ChatGPT na notes. Bakit kailangan ng mga students na mag-take ng notes? Bakit? So that's my second question. My first question, Do students need to learn how to do things like use a T-square or a drafting board, a triangle? Yung mga lumang ginawa noon, ng mga dati nating ginagamit na tools. Kailangan pa ba yan? Hindi na. Dapat ba mag-notes ng mga students or hindi na? ChatGPT na lang. Bakit? So ito yung mga pinapag-isipan ko, mga questions I've been thinking about. With all this technology, what is important and what is not important? Here's my question. If Google can provide the answer and YouTube can teach me how, di ba, pinapanood natin ng mga YouTube na tutorial kung may kailangan natin gawin. Ay, sige, i-YouTube mo na lang. Tapos may tutorial dyan kung paano gawin yan. So if Google can provide the answer and YouTube can teach me how, and ChatGPT can synthesize both, why do we go to school? Kailangan pa ba ng school? Hindi na. Di ba? Yun ang mga sagot nandyan sa Google. Di ba? May tutorial dyan sa YouTube. Kahit anong gusto mong gawin, di may tutorial dyan. Pati rin kung paano mag-ani, magtanim, di mag-ayos ng kotse, di lahat may tutorial dyan, di ba? And ngayon may ChatGPT at talaga napakabalis niyang i-synthesize lahat ng mga information. Bakit kailangan natin ng school? Sige, so yan talaga ang tanong ko. Dahil sa mga nagbabago ngayon, bakit kailangan ng school? So, as I was thinking about this question, I was thinking about another question. How do we future-proof STEM education? Paano ba natin ihanda ang ating sarili para sa mangyayari pa? Di ba? Kasi kung hindi na kailangan ng school, di paano yan? Wala na tayong trabaho, di ba? So, how do we prepare for the future? And that's what I want to talk to you about today, okay? So, I'm going to give you 3 ideas, 3 reasons that we need STEM education now and in the future, okay? 3 reasons. Reason number 1, skill development, okay? Skill development happens in the zone of proximal development, and this is based on research by Vygotsky, okay? Vygotsky said, when you approach a situation, there are things you can do all on your own. Okay? There's things that you can accomplish on your own. Then, there are some things, a little bit more, meron pa, that you can accomplish kung may tulong, if you have someone there to help you. Okay? And then, meron pa na may mga na hindi na natin magagawa. Things that we can't do, kahit may help dyan. Okay? But let's focus right there in the middle. Things we can do with a little bit of help. I want to tell you a little bit of a story. So you can see there's a picture of me and there's a picture of my brother-in-law. His name is Brian. Okay? I wanted to learn how to spin a basketball on my finger. Okay? Spin a basketball on my finger. But I didn't know how. And I tried and tried and tried. And di ko nagawa. It was too hard. I could not do it. Okay? But my brother-in-law, Brian, could do it. And Brian helped me to learn how to spin a basketball. Because of his experience, he was able to come and show me some things and teach me some things in some different ways. And now I can spin a basketball on my finger. That learning, yung learning na yan, nangyari yan sa zone of proximal development. Kung saan, may mga di ko nagawa kung walang tulong. Pero pag may tulong, di nakagawa na ako. Okay? The zone of proximal development. And STEM education happens in the zone of proximal development. Because we take students and there are skills na di nila nagawa. Kaya ng drafting, Gaya ng paggamit ng Photoshop. Basta maraming skills dyan na kung wala silang tulong, di nila magawa. But if may tulong dyan, they're able to accomplish that. And that happens in STEM education. That's reason number one. Reason number two, relationships. Okay? One of the things I've noticed sa technology, dahil sa technology, yung nangyayari, parang humihina na ang mga relationships natin. Tingnan niyo yung picture dyan sa kaliwa. Okay? Lahat ng mga tao, naka-cellphone lang. Noon, nasa Pilipinas ako, misyonero ako, pag nasa jeepney ka, di marami kang makausap. Di ba? Lahat ng mga tao, nakikipag-usap sila, nakikipagkwento ang gano'n habang nasa jeepney. Ngayon, wala na. Basta lahat naka-cellphone lang. Walang ano dyan. Walang pagkikipag-ano dyan. Kasi cellphone lang. Mga Facebook, Tinder, mga Instagram, gano'n lang. Walang relationship dyan. Pero at school, we have relationships. We have face-to-face. Because there are other people and we have to work together. Okay? STEM education provides the perfect opportunity for relationships. You can see this picture I have on here on the right. These are some of my students, Jensa UP, okay, as they are working on a STEM design challenge. Gumagawa sila ng mga laser tag vests tsaka yung mga laser tag guns. Okay? And the relationships that happen as you work together cannot be created outside of school and STEM education. Okay? It's not the same if you just nakikipag-chat or nakikipag-text dyan sa cell phone. It's not the same. There is value in getting people together and having them work together face to face. And that happens in STEM education. Okay? Reason number 3. Creativity is a human trait. Okay? Marami din tayong ipapagawa sa ChatGPT na mga notes, mga answers to questions, ganon. Okay? But ChatGPT and AI cannot be creative. You can see that quote. It might seem that today the best way to sum up the difference between human creativity and machine creativity, diba, AIN, is to consider that human creativity is the original source and machine creativity is best thought of as an emulation or an illusion of human creativity, a digital extension of our ability to express ourselves, generate new ideas, and inspire an emotional response from our audience. So yan ang di nagawa ng ChatGPT. Not capable of being creative. It can grab information and synthesize and organize, but AI cannot be creative, and human beings can. Creativity is a human trait, and that is something that we can emphasize and build at school, is creativity, okay? Relying on our ability to think and approach a situation and be creative. Here are the 3 reasons again, okay? Skill development happens in the zone of proximal development. That's where we learn skills. And that requires an expert to guide the learning. Diba? Guro yan. Kailangan na may guro dyan para magamit ng zone of proximal development. Okay? Students cannot learn without someone na mas marunong sa kanila. Okay? And that is the teacher. Number 2, technology tools cannot replace relationships. Okay? Diba yung cellphone, di maganda yan. Pero hindi yan ang relationship. Relationships are face-to-face, person-to-person, tao-tao. Okay? Hindi cellphone. Number 3, creativity comes from social interactions and connections. Okay? And then I put there near transfer, far transfer. Our ability to be in a situation and look at the different information there and make connections is what allows us to be creative. These are 3 reasons we need school and 3 reasons we need STEM education in school. Okay. All right. Now, if you look at those and we just rephrase them slightly, that first one deals with critical thinking and mentoring. The second reason deals with communication and collaboration. And the third one deals with creativity. Okay. These are so-called soft skills. And these are the skills that are needed by our students to get jobs and to be successful. STEM education teaches students the soft skills that prepare them for work. Critical thinking, mentoring, communication, collaboration, creativity. These are all skills that our students need so that they can get a job. Okay. Now let's go back to our first question. If Google can provide the answer, and YouTube can teach me how, and ChatGPT can synthesize everything, why do we even need school? Why do we need that? Okay. We talked about the soft skills. Let's talk about a few more things. Okay. Google can provide the answer, but Google provides knowledge at the lowest possible level. Mga facts lang. Okay. Google, what year was the Titanic sunk? Google, what year did Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo become president? Those are facts. Okay. The lowest level of knowledge. It's just mga facts lang. Google cannot provide knowledge at the higher levels, like evaluation, synthesis, analysis, creativity. Google cannot provide that. Okay. YouTube tutorials can teach us how to do things. And I use YouTube tutorials all the time. Mas lalo sa kotse ko. Pag may naano dyan, may nasira dyan, di pinapaano ko sa YouTube, di paano ayosin yan? Tapos ako na ang mag-ayos. Di mas mura yan, di ba? But the problem is, YouTube tutorials provide no room for mistakes or modifications. Okay? Ano kung sakali yung kotse ko ay iba ng konti sa kotse dyan sa video? Di, ano na, kawawa na. Diba? And if you look up on YouTube, there are many, many videos of tutorial fails. People that tried to follow a tutorial and it didn't work. Okay? So YouTube is good. Tutorials are good, but they are not as good as a teacher. A teacher who can teach us and help us move out past the zone of proximal development is better than YouTube. Number 3, okay, ChatGPT is good. ChatGPT can bring information together. We can use it to find answers, but creativity is a human trait. It is not an AI trait. We need kids and we need them in school and we need them in STEM. We need them in STEM education focused on critical thinking and mentoring, communication and collaboration, and creativity. Okay, so here are the keys to future-proofing STEM education. Number 1, emphasize the soft skills. We need to emphasize the teaching, the practice, and the development of these skills in our classes. Creativity, communication, collaboration, connection. We need to emphasize those in STEM education. The future of STEM education is not and cannot be based on facts. Google, ChatGPT, YouTube are so much better at facts than we will ever be. STEM education cannot focus there. We must focus on the soft skills. Pangalawa, embrace technology tools and recognize the limits. AI is good. We need to bring AI in. But AI is not the answer para sa lahat. Okay? AI is good for some things, but AI has no ability to be creative. AI cannot replace our relationship with other people. So we need to use technology, but we need to also recognize the limits of technology. Okay? Technology is good for some things and not good for other things. And we need to teach our students that. We need to teach our students this is a time to use technology, and this is a time not to use technology. Okay? And our students need to understand that. Number 3, Determine and focus on core skills and knowledge. Let's go back to the very beginning. Okay. Do students need to know how to use a T-square, a triangle, a drafting board, and sketch? I believe yung sagot niyan is oo. They do. I think students need to learn how to use those particular tools, because when they understand that core knowledge and then they go to the computer, they will be better on the computer because they understand the basic core knowledge. And we need to make those decisions. What tools do we need to teach? And what tools do we not need to teach? Okay. Do students need to know how to do algebra or gamitin na lang ng calculator? Okay. What are the core skills that students still need to know how to use? And I believe that in STEM, we need to identify those core skills and then emphasize those core skills, because that's what's going to allow students to use the tools that are coming. Thank you very much for your time. I wish that I could be there to answer questions. Pero yung schedule ko ay di maano dyan sa bagong schedule ninyo. But I would be happy to answer any questions you have over email. You can see my email address is listed there. I am most sad that I won't get to speak Tagalog with any of you, because I love speaking Tagalog with my friends in the Philippines. Thank you, Dr. Montarola, for the opportunity. Dr. Montarola is a wonderful friend and a great example of what the future of STEM education holds. And so I'm very grateful for this opportunity. And I look forward to hopefully hearing from some of you via email. Thank you very much.
Ang nakakatuwa sa kanya, sinishare niya yung mga reflective questions niya. But entirely, ang kanyang presentation is actually giving us some questions and also reminding us na ang digital materials cannot actually immediately assess the assistance that you will need. Only teachers can do. And also, di ba, ang ating understanding of a certain construct, mapa-science man yan, mapa-math or ibang disiplina, is strengthened when we are interacting with our peers, which is actually social constructivism. And finally, ang ating mga AI or ChatGPT does not know the context. So only human can actually provide a creative solution to any STEM-related problems. So, ibig sabihin, mayroon pa po tayong trabaho, okay, ng mga guro. Now, we will now award the certificate of appreciation to our speaker. Please allow me to read the contents of the certificate for Dr. Scott. And if you do have questions, please reserve that later on after our third speaker. So, let me read the contents of the certificate. Thank you, Ms. Abby. So the University of the Philippines National Institute for Science and Mathematics Education Development presents the Certificate of Appreciation to Dr. Scott Bartholomew for unselfishly sharing his valuable time, expertise, and meaningful insights as speaker during the UP NISMED 59th Anniversary Public Lecture with the theme Fueling Sustainable Growth through Tech-Driven STEM Teaching and Lifelong Learning, held on 24th of November 2023 at NISMED Auditorium, UP Diliman, Quezon City, Philippines, signed Dr. Sherilyn C. Monterola, Director. Now, this concludes the first half of our morning session. Now, we'll have a 15-minute break for coffee and morning snacks. Please be back at exactly, what's the time now? Anyway, 15 minutes break po, no? For the second part of the morning session, we kindly ask that no food or drinks be brought inside the auditorium. See you po after 15 minutes.
National Institute for Science and Mathematics Education Development, or UP-NISMED, is a research and extension unit of the University of the Philippines. Guided by its mandate to improve science and mathematics education, NISMED performs three major functions: research, curriculum development, professional development, and extension services. Through the years, NISMED has been generating new knowledge regarding science and mathematics teaching in the country. Research outputs, such as teaching materials, are tried and tested to teachers and students inside the classroom. Relevant and innovative teaching materials are made available online and at NISMED publications for distribution. In addition, NISMED is highly involved in the framing of the National Science and Mathematics Basic Education curricula. Equipped with subject area specialists, NISMED offers professional development programs which cater to the needs of teachers and educators in the country and Asia-Pacific region. These training programs deepen teachers' understanding of the subject areas they teach. NISMED promotes science teaching through inquiry and teaching mathematics through problem solving. Not only it conducts training programs, but also mentors science and mathematics teachers in the elementary and secondary levels. NISMED also promotes Lesson Study, a school-based teacher professional development model which originated in Japan and is now gaining popularity in the country. To reach out to various communities, NISMED uses different platforms online. It also ventured into television to popularize science among general viewers and used radio to reach out to more teachers and the public.
Ito po ang programang sadyang handog ng UP-NISMED.
To further its extension services, NISMED regularly conducts stargazing activities to accommodate school requests. It regularly opens its laboratories, providing opportunities for students to learn science and mathematics concepts and practice their applications. To conduct more effective programs and activities, NISMED partners with both local and international organizations. Committed to excellence, NISMED programs have continuously been achieving awards and recognitions. Since its establishment in 1964, NISMED continues its journey of commitment and service to lead the nation in science and mathematics education.
Today, we are witnessing the great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn.
Teaching science and mathematics through storytelling.
Teacher time out.
Healing the mental health impact of the pandemic.
Building water rockets. Kasi a narrative from the Tubata.
Built the Tubatahari Natural Park. Science and mathematics destroy. Second one, it is pick up and realistic at the same time, letting them fall.
Maganda rin na pataasin natin yung level ng mastery ng mathematical thinking ng ating mga students.
Sinabi natin positioning, paano ba yung pag-position ng teacher sa sarili niya at paano ba niya pinoposition yung mga estudyante.
Or you know that learning has occurred if there is a shift in the learner's discourse about the topic at hand.
Pag nasagot ng bata na nag-vibrate ang eardrum, pag may sound na naririnig, nabubuo niya yung concept, no? Ng physiology of hearing a sound. No?
Collaborate with other experts for better understanding of science concepts.
So dito, pinaplano ng teacher kung paano ba dapat yung dapat na matutuhang content o knowledge ng learners, pati na rin yung skills na dapat nilang ma-practice or ma-develop.
Gagawin ko dito sa kanila, ipapaloob ko siya dito sa convention cup natin.
Natin ay T, tamang, M, mental, E, effort. Tamang mental effort lang.
Kasali ka.
Alika.
Kasali ka.
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 Go, teacher, go!
Kagapay na makabagong guro.
The UP National Institute for Science and Mathematics Education Development, or UP NISMED, is a research and extension unit of the University of the Philippines. Guided by its mandate to improve science and mathematics education, NISMED performs three major functions: research, curriculum development, professional development, and extension services. Through the years, NISMED has been generating new knowledge regarding science and mathematics teaching in the country. Research outputs, such as teaching materials, are tried and tested to teachers and students inside the classroom. Relevant and innovative teaching materials are made available online and at NISMED publications for distribution. In addition, NISMED is highly involved in the framing of the National Science and Mathematics Basic Education curricula. Equipped with subject area specialists, NISMED offers professional development programs which cater to the needs of teachers and educators in the country and Asia-Pacific region. These training programs deepen teachers' understanding of the subject areas they teach. NISMED promotes science teaching through inquiry and teaching mathematics through problem solving. Not only it conducts training programs, but also mentors science and mathematics teachers in the elementary and secondary levels. NISMED also promotes lesson study, a school-based teacher professional development model which originated in Japan and is now gaining popularity in the country. To reach out to various communities, NISMED uses different platforms online. It also ventured into television to popularize science among general viewers and used radio to reach out to more teachers and the public.
Ito po ang programang sadyang inhandog ng UP NISMED.
To further its extension services, NISMED regularly conducts stargazing activities to accommodate school requests. It regularly opens its laboratories, providing opportunities for students to learn science and mathematics concepts and practice their applications. To conduct more effective programs and activities, NISMED partners with both local and international organizations. Committed to excellence, NISMED programs have continuously been achieving awards and recognitions. Since its establishment in 1964, NISMED continues its journey of commitment and service to lead the nation in science and mathematics education.
Today, we are witnessing the great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn.
Teaching science and mathematics through storytelling.
Teacher time out.
Feeling the mental health impact of the pandemic.
Building water rockets.
Kasi A narrative from the Tubata.
This is Tubatahari Natural Park. Science and mathematics destroy. Second part, which is pick up and release the sticks at the same time, letting them fall.
Maganda rin na pataasin natin yung level ng mastery ng mathematical thinking ng ating mga students.
Sinabi natin positioning, paano ba yung pag-position ng teacher sa sarili niya at paano ba niya pinoposition yung mga estudyante.
Or you know that learning has occurred if there is a shift in the learner's discourse about the topic at hand.
Pag nasagot ng bata na nag-vibrate ang eardrum, pag may sound na naririnig, nabubuo niya yung concept, no, ng physiology of hearing a sound. No?
Collaborate with other experts for better understanding of science concepts.
So dito, pinaplano ng teacher kung paano ba dapat yung dapat na matutuhang content o knowledge ng learners, pati na rin yung skills na dapat nilang ma-practice or ma-develop.
Gagawin ko dito sa kanila, ipapaloob ko siya dito sa convention cup content.
Natin ay T, tamang, M, mental, E, thought. Tamang mental effort lang.
Sali ka.
Alika.
Kasali ka.
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 Go teacher go.
Kagapay na makabagong guro.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're excited to add a touch of anticipation to our gathering by introducing a raffle draw. For 5 lucky participants are about to win a valuable prize, which is a STEM Career Guidebook Kit that promises insights and inspiration for your students' professional journey. Each of you were given a raffle stub with a number during the registration process. Now, it's time to unveil our winners. We will be drawing 5 numbers to identify the fortunate recipients of our prizes. Stay tuned as your numbers may lead to the excitement of being one of the winners. You can now prepare your raffle stub ticket so that you will know the number assigned to you. And we will now flash our Wheel of Fortune. So for the first winner, we have... Ayan, medyo marami-rami pong number ang nasa Wheel of Fortune natin. Our first winner is 118. Dito po ba ang ating first winner? Number 118. May we invite you to come here on stage? Last call. Sige, count po natin. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so pasensya na po kay number 118. Let's have another number for our winner. Again, ang ating pong raffle draw prize is a STEM Career Guide Kit. So we have for students, for parents, and for guidance counselors. Number 25. Sino po ang lucky winner? Number 25. Naku, mukhang wala rin yata dito. Number 25, baka nasa labas. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, another number po. Again, para po sa mga kapapasok lang, we are having a raffle draw. And the prize is STEM Career Guidebook Kit. Kasama po dito ang for teachers, for parents, and for guidance counselors as well. 135. Oh, 135. Sige po, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Next number po. 5 po ito for the first batch. So, hopefully, nakita na po yung mga numbers. We have number 64. Naku, nasan kaya ito? We actually gave po the numbers randomly. So, let's announce guess po. So hopefully po makakuha na tayo nandito sa auditorium because we have a very promising prizes. Number 171. Wow! Congratulations, ma'am! Let's draw another number. 171. We also have number 5. Nandiyan na po ba ang number 5? Wala pa. Sige po, let's draw another number. We also have number 147. 147. Congratulations po. Another number po tayo. So again, para po sa mga nakapasok pa lang po for our auditorium, we are having a raffle draw. And our prize is STEM Career Guidebook Kit for teachers, for parents, and for guidance counselor. We have 141. Number 141. Congratulations! Ayan. May mapapersuade na po tayong mag-STEM. Next number po. Last 2 winners. For the first batch of our raffle draw, we have number 29. Number 29. Number 29 po ba ang number niyo, ma'am? Abangan na ba tayo? Okay, napatay. Next po. Tama po si Dean Jerome, napatayo lang pala si ma'am. Sakto pa naman po na tinawag ko yung number 29. We also have number 134. 134. Okay, next po tayo. Mukhang wala pa dito si number 134. Two more winners of our STEM Career Guidebook. Number... Talaga na nahimik po, naghintay. 40! Number 40? Nandito po ba? Wala rin. Okay, next number po tayo. We also have number... Hopefully, nandito na po, no? Napakaganda po ng ating prizes. 96. Number 96. Wala pa rin. Sige po, next number po tayo. We also have number 137. Number 100. Wow, si Ma'am Wina, si Doc Wina po. Mother na, congratulations po. Ano? So, next number po tayo, last. Congratulations po, Doc Wina. And our last winner. 180. Congratulations! May we ask po our winners to please come here in front para po sa ating, dito po tayo sa gitna para po sa ating picture taking. May we also ask again po ang ating mga si Dr. po, si Jerome po, at ati po I think from the UPIS at picture taking. Congratulations again to our winners. We'll have second batch of raffle draw later before we end our program. I hereby pass the floor back to our esteemed host, Dr. Ivy P. Miguel.
Thank you, Abby. Kala ko wala nang katapusan yung raffle draw natin. Yan. Congratulations po sa lahat ng nakakuha ng STEM guidebook. Ito po ay sinulat ng NISMED with the Department of Science and Technology Science Education Institute. Isa po siya sa mga knowledge materials or products na ginawa ng NISMED at makakaasa po kayo, madadagdagan pa po yan sa mga susunod na taon with NISMED led by Dr. Sharon C. Monterola. And before I call on the next resource speaker, let me just recognize the following schools, no? Batch 2. So we have Concepcion Integrated School. Asan po sila? Ayan. Hello, ma'am. Carlos L. Albert High School. Mukhang school to ni Albert. May stop kaming Albert ang pangalan. Nangka High School. Lipa City Senior High School. DepEd Marikina. Manuel G. Auraulo High School. Simio Inotech. Okay, I saw Ma'am Mitch kanina. Regional Lead School for Arts in Angono. Ayun. SDO Marikina, I think natawag na siya kanina. One Sumulong High School, UPLB, UST. Okay, DepEd Rizal, natawag na rin. UP College of Education, o nga naman, ang kapitbahay natin. Hindi natawag kanina. St. Vincent School, nasabi na rin po. Karuhatan National High School. Siguro nasa labas pa. SDO Pasig City with Ma'am Lisa here. DOST Amsen. UPRI. Okay. And Catholic Filipino Academy Homeschool. Ang mga estudyante po nating nandito kanina. Okay. Now, welcome back. And I hope you had a pleasant coffee break. I'd also like to extend a warm welcome to our online participants through Facebook and YouTube. We are still streaming live on the UP NISMED Facebook page and our YouTube channel. We have now come to our public lecture second plenary talk. The question and answer part of this talk will also be after the third plenary talk. Nonetheless, You are encouraged to take note of your questions. And with that note, I'd like to call Dr. Alan Canonigo, the chair of the High School Mathematics Group of UP NISMED, and the chair of this public lecture, to introduce our guest speaker for the second plenary talk. Dr. Alan?
Sa lahat po mga nandito po, good morning. It is indeed my privilege to introduce to you our second speaker for today's public lecture. Talaga pong mailap. Well, she is very well known. So Dr. Ethel Agnes Pascua Valenzuela is the advisor on the future of education of the ASEAN Sociocultural Research and Development Platform at the ASEAN Secretariat. She works across all issues on equity, quality, and SDG relevance of education and lifelong learning. She currently serves as the governing board member of the UNESCO Institute for Lifelong Learning and UNESCO Institute for Statistics, and an advisory member of the ISCED. She is currently a professorial lecturer at the College of Education, University of the Philippines in Diliman, a distinguished honorary visiting professor of Kongwon University in South Korea. Dr. Valenzuela also served as Commissioner, Vice Chair of the Education Committee of the UNESCO National Commission from 2003 to 2010, and played an integral role in the ratification of UNESCO Mutual Recognition of Higher Education Degrees, Studies, and Certificates, as well as in drafting of the 2011 UNESCO Convention for the Recognition of Higher Education Qualifications. Before assuming the education advisor role at the ASEAN Secretariat, she was the first female director of the CMEO Secretariat from 2019 to 2023, which serves as the executive arm of the CMEO Council of ministers from 11 member countries that make up CMEO. As an accomplished academic writer, Dr. Valenzuela led CMEO research on the K-12 regional comparison on Southeast Asia, K-12 Toolkit, the Southeast Asia Teaching Competency Standards, Education for All 2015 Assessment of the Philippines, is the Toolkit, UNESCO Toolkit for the Recognition of Higher Education Qualifications, and Toolkit for National Information Center, and the two APSEO Best Case Studies. So without further ado, please join me in giving a warm welcome to Dr. Ethel Agnes Pascua Valenzuela.
Everyone, thank you for inviting me in this very special 59th anniversary celebration of the University of the Philippines National Institute for Science, Mathematics, Education, and Development. Thank you for inviting me to share my thoughts as well on the theme Tech-Driven STEM Teaching and Lifelong Learning. Today, I'll be discussing answers to the following questions. What are the regional trends on STEM education, including AI integration? How do we create a new future in STEM teaching and learning in the Philippines in the age of AI and digitalization? And what are the opportunities and challenges in tech-driven STEM teaching and lifelong learning in the context of our goals for SDG 4.0? Let me start by sharing about the world that we live in ASEAN. Our population in the region is estimated to reach almost 600 million. These figures indicates that the ASEAN countries contribute to 8.09% of the world population, totaling 84 billion. And so if our population is 688 million and we have the biggest human capital, and we're perceiving that in 2050, half of the ASEAN population will be young people. What can we do better in STEM teaching and learning? The next 5 years could see the ASEAN region making great strides towards becoming both a globally competitive digital economy and also a digital society. We're seeing that a substantial portion of the ASEAN population now owns broadband devices, whether fixed or mobile devices, cloud services, and it's possible to deliver innovation and functionality of lifelong learning at low cost. I think all of us will agree that the COVID-19 pandemic has opened the eyes of many policymakers and regulators to really take advantage of digitalization and enabling it for lifelong learning. Within the ASEAN, the heads of states have agreed to a master plan, and this master plan is actually on the digital economy, that we would like to position ourselves, have a consolidated strategy on the fourth industrial revolution, that we wanted to build a digital community, technological governance and cybersecurity, digital transformation of our society, more capacity building, more cooperation, more collaboration. Also, the education sector, the ministers of education adopted the Declaration on the Digital Transformation of Education Systems in ASEAN. So member countries have signed these on the occasion of the 40th and 41st ASEAN Summits in Phnom Penh, the digital transformation of education systems. What can we expect from the Declaration on Education in terms of digitalization? So ministers have agreed to address digital inclusion, digital technology, digital pedagogies, capacity building for teachers, of course, providing digital infrastructure in schools, expanding cultural development, and attending to social welfare and protection, and having an innovative environmental sustainability. So these two big declarations of ASEAN have already been adopted, and it will also give us a lot of opportunities to really work on the basic, the quality STEM education in ASEAN. With globalization, new developments in ICT, with all the declaration, the policy, the roadmap, the advances in science and technology impacting the ASEAN society, we are looking at new ways of teaching and learning, and that jobs that are coming here are sometimes, becoming irrelevant because of the very fast changes. And nations in ASEAN need to pay attention to these developments and respond according to the challenges, so that the people are better equipped with the skills to thrive in the new economy. The modern economy of ASEAN is very much driven by STEM. And then we can say that right now it's imperative to lay good foundation for STEM in schools for students. In September, ASEAN Secretariat has published the Future of Education and Skills, and it has also reported the 10 fastest growing jobs. And these are on AI and machine learning specialists, data analysts, sustainability specialists, robotics engineering, business intelligence, information security, to name a few. And the report also outlined the declining jobs, so that we should be conscious that most of the 10 fastest growing jobs are actually on STEM education. And the skills on the rise, it's also changing. More and more, the skills that are required are on creative thinking, on systems thinking, analytical thinking, AI and big data, technological literacy, motivation and self-awareness, very important in this highly complicated world, curiosity and lifelong learning, talent management, resilience and flexibility. These are all the new skills on the rise. So STEM education in ASEAN, or what we call as the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics education, is among the many strategies adopted by growing economies to support the digital journey. So we have already the roadmap, we have already the framework, and now we would take a look at how we can actually improve or reinvent STEM education in ASEAN within the arms of digitalization, that is ICT tools and services. And we have business, new, and the different society, different pictures of society we are in, more techy, more digital. And I think COVID-19 pandemic has accelerated the uptake of these digital solutions. So let me just walk you through on the different approaches to STEM education by the ASEAN member states. So for example, if you take a look at Malaysia, we'll see that the government has phased plan to implement STEM education until 2025. And, you know, Malaysia is really a front runner in STEM education, revising curriculum, integrating analysis, critical thinking, hypothesis building, and decision-making into the curriculum. And media has played a big role in educating both students and the public about career opportunities in STEM education. That means more advocacies on STEM careers. Singapore, the STEM is a discipline. It was brought to deliver human capital engine for economic growth. That, you know, STEM ed will propel economic growth in Singapore. And the government has discussed strategies and policies at all levels. In Cambodia, of course, we still have problems of teacher supply and teacher motivation for STEM education. And we can see also fewer STEM institutions in that. However, there is a new kind of approach, the next gen approach, that that looks at the conducive environment for imparting skills in STEM education and having a very good support for research and capacity building for teachers and researchers. I'm sure you're all familiar with the Philippines in terms of support for STEM education. And we can also see that for the Philippines, the government is taking on an integrated STEM educational approach. And it is encouraging students actually to, select STEM. And the government organizes events in schools, technical and regional level. And the country is also conscious of improving the uptake of STEM by women. In Thailand, a specifically designed STEM education was done. In fact, Thailand also introduced Thai 4.0, and they recognize the gender imbalance in STEM education and the policy supporting STEM curriculum and mobilization of STEM education in Thai schools. Thailand has also established its Simeo Center for Sustainable Development, or what we call Sufficiency Economy Philosophy, or Simeo CEPS. It has also established the Simeo Center for STEM Education. Vietnam is, also improving STEM education, and it has also been very, very good in adapting ICT tools, devices, and application in education. They value very much the ASEAN pool of experts in STEM education, and they have been benchmarking on STEM education policies and approaches, especially for Malaysia. For Indonesia, the promotion of STEM is really a priority, and they would like to increase the number of graduates from integrative STEM. And in Myanmar, they're also embarking on many things: curriculum revision, transforming education. And there are many female researchers in Myanmar, but right now, the integration of STEM education is still at an early stage. And there are countries that I missed, but we hope that in the next session, we'll be able to share with you as well other good practices. So at this point, I would like to share good practices from the regions very best STEM provider, which is Singapore. So in Singapore, the National Institute of Education is the sole teacher training institution in the country. And thus, with NIE, the quality of teachers is controlled. NIE is part of Nanyang Technological University and is supported by the Ministry of Education. So the pre-service teacher education STEM subject is very rigorous. Academic staff are research active, and there are wide range of in-service courses to cater to the various needs of the teachers. So why is STEM at the heart of the Singapore curriculum? If we look at the performance of Singapore in science and mathematics through the teams, we will see that Singapore is on top of university ranking, like US universities are on top of the world's best, and also in terms of their performance in teams, they are number 1 in science, number 1 in mathematics for grade 4, and for grade 8 as well, number 1 in 2015, and in the last 2003, they're also number 1. So Singapore students regularly do well in international Olympiads in sciences, in mathematics, as well as in PISA and teams. What is the secret? So they have the STEM applied learning programs, and you can see how they integrate STEM applied learning programs in different courses. What are they doing? So they have embedded electronics, engineering, design and modeling, robotics, food science and technology. They also have alternative energy, urban design and innovation, e-water sensors, water technology, material science, to name a few. They have also flight and aerospace, game design, and simulation. In the primary level, they are already introducing game design, game making, health science, material science, sustainability, and transportation. And the secondary level, they're into cities and urban landscapes, emerging technologies like AI, future of transportation, health and food science, and sustainability. So we can see that our frontrunner in STEM education has a very good plan ahead and partnership for quality STEM education, where they support linkages with science centers, and that Singapore Science Center that was established, they're working with them and to promote science and technology to students and public. And there are a lot of enrichment programs, promotional activities. Applied learning program in STEM was also there to support both the basic education, primary and secondary, and they're now into problem-based learning and providing solutions to real-world problems using integrated STEM education. Schools there can actually choose any one of the themes that I have mentioned earlier, and how students can work on that over time. So let me just share quickly the other updates from this part of presentation on the artificial intelligence, which actually after the Transforming Education Summit, we need to focus on foundational learning, capacity building of teachers. Then we have artificial intelligence at our doorstep. So the reports claim that artificial intelligence is the next big thing to shake up education industry. It's projected to reach 3.68 billion. And these large language models have been very popular now, being used by students, being used by teachers, writers, almost everybody. And the AI tools and technologies are really useful for some teachers in grading papers, personalized lessons, and helping students gather information quickly and effectively. So I think for NISMED, we need to have some courses in lifelong learning on AI and how we can manage that one. So is it popular already? Because this AI is part of a bigger concern for STEM education, teaching and lifelong learning. Anybody can get information on many courses, many questions and to be answered by ChatGPT in few minutes. But is AI there in ASEAN member states? So we have Brunei Darussalam is still in the early stage of governing and investing on AI, and they have to announce publicly a national AI strategy. However, University of Brunei Darussalam and Simeo Voctech in Brunei Darussalam they have already worked on some AI courses. So University of Brunei Darussalam has already offered bachelor's of digital science with major in AI and robotics. So it's a good news, right? Cambodia, the minister said that he's now embracing integration of generative AI, and Minister Hang Chanaron say that technology can replace learning and memorization. It's really good that, the Ministry of Education, Youth and Sports has been using STEM and other technology-based learning through youth debates, boot camps, and digital competitions. So with a strategy of creating the new generation schools, Cambodia has been improving the quality of education very well. In Indonesia, this more advanced. They have recently released the National Strategy for Artificial Intelligence, and they also have the National Research and Innovation Agency responsible for the national policy of AI development. The work will run from 2020 to 2045. So they have also focused on AI in education and research, and this will definitely be, a very good model for us to benchmark because it's in their national strategy on artificial intelligence. Now, PDR, I haven't seen a lot of developments on AI in Lao PDR, but I have seen one institute which was established in 2020 to prepare for the future generation of Lao students. And in such case, it's called the IATR, the Institute of Advanced Technology Education and Research within Lao PDR. They would like to invest on teaching and learning of, talking about the fourth industrial revolution, IT, big data, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence. And I know for a fact that Laos receive a lot of support from UNESCO, UNICEF to improve their education programs, including USAID. Malaysia has done very significant strides in embracing AI technologies and integrating them into various sectors. Being well advanced, they have also conducted a lot of capacity building on how AI could be integrated in the education system. And there are some courses of AI that are now available in some universities and colleges. In Myanmar, we see that although they have now, just emerging from social conflict, or some parts are still in social conflict, they continue to develop and modernize. So Myanmar has invested a lot on education, and AI is one of the things that should be integrated in education system for them. And they have also distance education universities and colleges that are actually propelling more advanced training programs for Myanmar in terms of personalized learning and in terms of equipping students as well as teachers. In the Philippines, as we know it, we have also been talking about AI a lot, and we would like AI to be, transforming the different systems in our government, and that, national AI roadmap in 2021 has already been launched, and that we have some best universities offering AI or AI related courses that are, top 45 AI best universities. In Singapore, I have mentioned this a lot, but the AI is also there. Transforming Education Through Technology Master Plan was already prepared by the Singapore government with its vision of really technology transforming learning to prepare students for a technology transformed world. So they are so advanced that, they have already the EdTech Master Plan, building on the previous 2020 EdTech Plan and ICT Master Plans. In Thailand, as you know, the Thai Cabinet has approved the draft of the Thailand National AI Strategy and Action Plan. and they are actually developing on STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics education, and even AI into the Thai education curriculum. So AI in education in Thailand has a potential to really provide students the best information and training. And it's really striking that the STEAM education is picking up. And for Vietnam, the role of AI in enhancing teaching and learning, they recognized AI-powered tools, including ChatGPTs. They're also, using AI integration to improve learning outcomes. There are discussions about having personalized learning, facilitation, and AI-driven solutions. And the challenge for the region is that we are not really at a very high rank in science and mathematics in terms of the international examination. And if we talk about the reasons why we have very low performance in science and mathematics, we can see that it's about socioeconomic status, it's about demographic background of learners, it's also about the quality of education that we offer. So if we will address these socioeconomic advantage, how they can access better STEM education, or girls can have access to STEM education as well, and language problems and issues can be addressed, I think we can bounce back to have higher performance in science and mathematics. In the Philippines, we take note that 15-year-old students in our country have lower scores in reading, in mathematics, science. So in how many countries that participated in PISA? We have been seeing that we're just on top of one country, which is Dominican Republic, but the rest, no country scored lower than the Philippines and Dominican Republic in mathematics, in science. And this is really something that we need to improve on, how we can improve teaching and learning to have better performance in science in PISA. In the region, the best performers are Singapore and Vietnam, and we're equally challenged, but we're still lower than Malaysia, Thailand, and Indonesia. In terms of female researchers in the region, we will see that there are more female researchers in Myanmar, in Thailand, and of course in the Philippines. So that's really a great opportunity for us female researchers to continue to contribute to STEM education. So having given you the picture of ASEAN, now let me talk about challenges and opportunities. So if we take a look at the new trends from digitalization, from AI, ChatGPT, and having a lot of short courses, micro credentials, there is one thing that we should address, and that's quality of content, quality of teaching and learning, and quality of lifelong learning in particular. We can improve the quality of STEM ed learners and graduates using problem-based learning to make learning more engaging, or even project-based applied STEM education. There should be more and more research and development exposures for learners and as well as educators. We need a bigger supply of PhD for basic education in our STEM ed laboratories, and we need to increase our funding and financing in STEM education. So why do we need to invest in STEM education? Funding, financing for better STEM education. Because basically the future is for the new learners with new competencies requirements, right? From the job skills on the rise and the new jobs. We're seeing that the learners would experience network learning, focusing on discovery and the ability to synthesize. There will also be a need to have creative and critical thinking, systems thinking, computational fluency, generative AI, ChatGPT, to have new functional literacy. So the world is changing, as well as the competencies should also be changing. We have also to take a note of the lessons learned from PISA, that many of our female STEM learners should be given more opportunities because women accounts for a minority in world researchers, especially in STEM education. So we need more women to hold better STEM-related undergraduate degrees, particularly in engineering. We also need to identify female role models who are in STEM education and more. So again, the lessons for STEM education amidst lifelong learning is more quality, more inclusivity, and more relevance of STEM teaching and learning. And I think with this, we will be able to improve the ecosystem of STEM education. And through NISMED, we can actually go forward with more transformative potentials, more digitalization, and more capacity building. I think not just the teachers, but decision makers, teachers, professional development, and the whole of ecosystem. So let us continue to promote the best STEM teaching and learning, and let us continue to reach out to policymakers to support, give funding, and increase financing to STEM education and lifelong learning. So that is my message to all of you. And again, let me wish you all a very happy anniversary, and I look forward to more successful years of UP NISMED. Thank you very much, and I hope you had a very good session today.
Southeast Asian region. And so you see there's varied efforts from country to another country. And also while listening to her, it also serves as a benchmarking opportunity not only by NISMED but other institutions. Ano yung mga development in the landscape of STEM education. And finally, she ended it how to make the STEM education inclusive and some challenges and how to emphasizing the need for an increased STEM researchers, particularly the female group. With that, we would like to award the Certificate of Appreciation to Dr. Ethel Agnes Pascua Valenzuela. Let me read the content of the certificate. University of the Philippines, National Institute for Science and Mathematics Education Development presents the Certificate of Appreciation to Ethel Agnes Pascua Valenzuela for unselfishly sharing her valuable time, expertise, and meaningful insights as guest speaker during the UP NISMED 59th Anniversary Public Lecture with the theme Fueling Sustainable Growth Through Tech-Driven STEM Teaching and Lifelong Learning, held on 24th of November 2023 at NISMED Auditorium, UP Diliman, Quezon City, Philippines, signed Dr. Sherilyn C. Monterola, Director. So ay baka nanonood si ma'am, no? Well, you are waiting for other activities for this public lecture, may we also invite you to start writing your questions para maging ready po siya later sa ating question and answer portion with our third plenary speaker. Let me also recognize our academician from the OST National Academy of Science and Technology, Academician Jose Maria Balmaceda. Sir. Ayun, tayo po tayo, sir, ang ating academician, yes. And we would like also to call on our partner for this of NISMED. And may I call on again Dr. Sherilyn C. Monterola, Dean Benviaje, and Ma'am Kaluag to award the Certificate of Appreciation and tokens to Miss Marie Joanne Armada Orieta, the Project Implementation Manager of Unilab Foundation Incorporated. Ma'am. Talk, you are encouraged to write down your questions. Our online participants are again encouraged to ask questions as well. Simply type your questions into the Facebook comment section or into the chat box of the YouTube Live if you are streaming this event live. Now, I'd like to call on Dr. Maria Helen D. Catalan, Science Education Specialist from the High School Biology Group of UP NISMED, to introduce our guest speaker for the third plenary talk. Doc Helen.
Thank you, Doc Ivy. Dean Jerome Buenviaje, Ma'am Diane Kaluwag, Officer in Charge of the UP Integrated School, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Nelson Mandela once said, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." This morning, it is my honor to introduce our next speaker, whose life's work embodies the transformative power of education. Our speaker holds a doctorate degree in physics education from the University of the Philippines, Diliman. She is a professor at the UP College of Education and the director of the UP National Institute for Science and Mathematics Education Development. In 2016, she was a visiting scholar at the National Institute of Education at the Nanyang Technological University in Singapore. Our speaker has been awarded the Centennial Professorial Chair from 2020, 2021, and 2022. She was also a recipient of the University of the Philippines Diliman Chancellor's Award for Outstanding Teacher in 2022. Her current work focuses on the development of 21st century skills, futures literacy, and STEM skills for basic education, teacher education, TVET, and workforce applications. With a passion for shaping the future through education, she has developed and is actively engaged in diverse programs such as the Science, Technology, Engineering, Agriculture, and Mathematics, or STEAM Innovation Program for senior high schools, STEM Education Master Course for teachers, 3D printing curriculum for high school, development of competency framework and modules on advanced manufacturing, data science for education, training of non-physics majors, innovative pedagogies for 21st century learning, women in science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics, or STEAM, IR 4.0 training for teachers, and Futures Thinking training for teachers. Her collaborations with the International Labour Organization, ILO Philippines, and the ILO Malaysia for their Skills for Prosperity programs, particularly on the integration of STEM-related generic skills into TVET, underscore her commitment and dedication to advancing education and skills development to prepare a workforce that is not only job-ready today, but is also well-equipped to navigate and excel in the challenges in the jobs of the future. It is truly an honor and a privilege to have her with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all warmly welcome Dr. Sherilyn C. Monterola.
Thank you very much, Dr. Helen. It's really actually a home court advantage because I asked the program team to insert me in the program because I really want to make sure that there can be a public lecture for this 59th anniversary celebration of NISMED. And as head of the institute, it is my responsibility to offer that to you. So this morning, allow me to talk about NISMED and its role in upskilling and reskilling for life, work, and learning through STEM. And so I'll be talking about the different contexts, the whys and the hows of UP NISMED in terms of embarking on different programs that we will be able to make sure that we help the education sector in preparing our next generation of future leaders, innovators, nation builders, making sure that they have the necessary skills to thrive no matter what the circumstances are in the future. So this morning, allow me to walk you through the different contexts as I move data on to different programs that we created. Earlier, Doc Ethel already referred to this top skills on the rise for 2023 until 2027. And this was featured in the World Economic Report, World Economic Forum Jobs of Future Future of Jobs report in 2023. And as you can see, starting with creative thinking down to service orientation and customer service, we can see a lot of these skills resonating in the realm of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. As you can see, the higher order cognitive skills, such as creative thinking, analytical thinking, you also have systems thinking, and here you also have what you call technology literacy, as well as AI and big data. We are not disregarding the importance of resilience, flexibility, and agility, and of course, curiosity and lifelong learning, which are, of course, very much related to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Also, in the next slide, from the same report, there is the special section about the Philippines and what is the reskilling focus of the Philippines in the next 5 years. It's the same items as identified in the previous slide, but what you can see is a little bit of prioritizing. So at the topmost, you have AI and big data. There's the analytical thinking, resilience, flexibility, and agility, and of course, creative thinking, technological literacy, down to design and user experience. So this will be the reskilling focus of the Philippines in the next 5 years. But also we need to consider another factor, our progress in terms of attaining the Sustainable Development Goals. This was published by the Philippine Statistics Authority regarding how we are in terms of achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. And as you can see here, 8 out of 17 goals have sufficient indicators, or 50% of the indicators satisfying the required data. But there are some what you call regressions that are being experienced or that are being encountered by the Philippines. This is the current landscape that we're in. We are on track, but not really that much on track. There are some regressions that we have to face in terms of attaining the Sustainable Development Goals. Now, as we bring our attention to upskilling and reskilling in light of this different skills demand and the attainment of the Philippines with regards to Sustainable Development Goals, there are 3 major points that I want to raise today. One is that of digital competence. You have seen earlier the questions that were raised by Dr. Scott Bartholomew and also the points that were made by Dr. Ethel Valenzuela in her presentation. Second is lifelong learning. We have seen the impact of lifelong learning, its importance, and this is one of the major items that we want to make sure that this MED will actively participate in. Lifelong learning, meaning to say that you educate, not just using the formal schooling system, but also alternative system, and making sure that learning happens not only for the young, not only for those in school, but also for those, let's say, utilizing STEM in technical vocational education, workforce development, and even beyond workforce development for empowering citizens. Also, we have the third item, which is futures and sustainability actions. So these are the 3 things that we want to work on. And as I discuss each item, I'd like to walk you through the whys of UP NISMED in engaging in these different items, making sure that we participate in upskilling and reskilling, but using our main platform, which is STEM education. I always make sure that STEM is clearly understood, and I actually propose these proxies for STEM. How do we look at STEM? We can interpret STEM as the first one. STEM and skills skills and tools for inquiring minds. Okay. Skills and tools for inquiring minds. So that's when you say inquiring mind, who has the propensity or the inclination to actually learn and learn always and learn more. No? So that's an inquiring mind. Second, STEM can be taken as skills and tools for employment. If you are able to develop STEM skills, STEM competencies, then you are more likely to become employable. Third, STEM can be taken as skills and tools for entrepreneurial mindset. Right now, the Philippines is more of a consumer of tech products rather than innovators and developers. And we want to move the needle. We don't want to be forever, consumers of technology and innovations of other countries. But we want to move the needle towards, having learners, having students being able to actually generate innovations, become tech disruptors rather than just tech consumers. So here, we're looking at STEM as skills and tools for entrepreneurial mindset. So we want to raise more technopreneurs among our midst. Lastly, STEM as skills and tools for empowered citizenry. We want to make sure that through STEM-capable individuals, we have the capacity to make informed decisions. We have the capacity to become critical, to become, just not mere recipients of information, but being able to actually understand data and derive insights and turn them into action. So this is what STEM is all about, and this is what UP NISMED is pushing for. But let me go back and explain the whys of UP NISMED and how we are doing this in terms of upskilling and reskilling through STEM, or making sure that we have digitally competent learners, making sure that we have learners who are into lifelong learning, and of course, lastly, those who have the foresight for the futures, and of course, sustainability actions. The first why is this. Earlier, Doc Ethel talked about the ASEAN context. Dr. Scott talked about, the international context. Now I am zeroing in and talking about the Philippine context. And let us start with the Philippine Development Plan by the National Education Development Authority, or NEDA. As you can see in the Philippine Development Plan 2023 until 2028, this is the strategy framework to improve education and lifelong learning. As you can see in the middle, there's emphasis on quality, inclusive, adaptive, resilient, and future-ready basic education for all. In the middle, you'll be able to see globally competitive and inclusive TVET and higher education, and improved research output attained for a broader knowledge economy. And then lastly, the governance for human capital development being improved. If you look at the finer details of this one, you'll be able to see that there's much to be done in terms of improving the curriculum, in terms of making sure that there is capacity building, that we will be able to develop the human capital that will actually make sure that education and lifelong learning will be improved in the Philippines. And of course, added to that, as mentioned earlier by Doc Ethel, the resources, funding, and financing that will support this entire ecosystem. Aside from the PDP, I'd like to just go back to the point of UP, the University of the Philippines, and its mandate as the national university. As the national university, we are actually mandated to lead in setting academic standards and initiating innovations in teaching, research, and faculty development. This is a big why for UP NISMED. We want to fulfill the mandate of the University of the Philippines, making sure that we actively participate in setting academic standards and initiating innovations, particularly in our field, STEM education. Aside from that, We are mandated to lead as a public university, service university, by providing various forms of community, public and volunteer service, as well as take note, technical assistance to our government agencies and other private sector and civil society. And lastly, provide opportunities for training and learning in these different capacities, leadership, responsible citizenship, and the development of democratic values. This is UP, and the way we were operating in UP NISMED is to make sure that we fulfill this mandate aligned with the Philippine Development Plan. In the next slide, I'm going back to the main core of UP NISMED. Last year, we launched our research and extension agenda, and these are the 4 pillars of what UP NISMED is all about. Curriculum development, instructional materials development, professional development, and extension. And we want to make sure that the things that we do here are actually geared towards bridging gaps to improve teaching and learning. Second, we want to make sure that we support teaching practice, and which is very much aligned to the revised Matatag curriculum. And of course, lastly, advancing STEM education with emerging technologies, being at the forefront of the development of STEM education in the country. So these are the whys of UP NISMED. And as we move forward, let me go back to the different contexts of digital competence, lifelong learning, and futures and sustainability education. Let's talk about digital competence. Recently, Amazon Web Services and Gallup actually conducted a digital skills study, and they established that developing digital talent actually makes economies resilient. In fact, here in the Asia-Pacific region, the total economic benefit of digital skills amounts to $4.7 trillion per year. What does it mean? In the next slide. As mentioned earlier, there's a lot of economic benefits of digital skills, and particularly in our region, Asia-Pacific. As you can see here, it can amount to as much as $4.7 trillion. But there are different ranges, like for basic skills, about $2.57 trillion. And basic skills constitute, for example, email, word processors, and other office productivity software and social media. In the middle, you have $1.17 trillion for intermediate digital skills. You have drag and drop website design, troubleshooting applications, and data analysis. And the narrow band, $934 billion, you have advanced digital skills. This includes cloud architecture or maintenance, software application development, AI, and machine learning. So aside from that, from the large economic benefit of having digital skills, I also like to bring your attention to this recent framework about expectations about the digital competence of educators. EU and the International Telecommunication Union actually published this digital competence framework for educators. And as you can see, it has broadened the expectations regarding the digital competence of educators. We are not mere consumers of these digital tools, but it's expected that we use these digital resources for a lot of other things. One is that we don't just, create and modify. We are able to manage, protect, at the same time, use it for assessment, use it better for teaching and learning, making sure that we use digital tools for empowering learners, and making sure that more learners are able to acquire digital competence. So there is greater expectation in terms of digital competence among educators. So I just want to update you regarding the track of UP NISMED in terms of digital competence, our current programs and initiatives. First is that through DOST, Advanced Manufacturing Center, we collaborated with them and we were able to participate in creating this advanced manufacturing roadmap for the academe, for which, as you can see in this advanced manufacturing roadmap, there are 3 main components: curriculum, capacity building, and sustainability mechanisms. Part of the things that we did for AMSEN is to actually lay out these different issues, identify the different issues and concerns, and at the same time, identify the mechanisms and the strategies for being able to follow this particular roadmap in terms of advanced manufacturing, curriculum, capacity building, and that of sustainability mechanisms. Other programs and initiatives in the next slide is the implementation of the 3D printing curriculum for high school. And for this one, we are actually collaborating with AMSEN, and we're actually collaborating with UP Integrated School for the implementation of the curriculum. And Maker Lab and Puzzle Box became part of this as we move towards building the capacity of other teachers to actually handle 3D printing in high school. And just a glimpse of what the course is all about. This is the 3D printing course as an interest-based elective course. And it talks about additive manufacturing principles, operations of FDM printers, 3D modeling, and of course, applications of 3D printing. But I'd like to emphasize the bottom part. Part of the research that we did for implementing the curriculum established that 3D printing curriculum implementation is actually able to significantly improve students' understanding of additive manufacturing concepts. It's able to improve systems thinking, which is very important and one of the skills on the rise, as mentioned earlier in the other frameworks. And lastly, it's able to improve, but partially, components of creativity, particularly ideation and originality. So this is now the 3D printing course that we're developing, and we hope to get more partners to actually work with us so that we can actually customize some of the curriculum that can work for your school, and then we can gather evidence on the effectiveness of the 3D printing curriculum. So we are looking for more partners to actually try out the curriculum that we designed for the Advanced Manufacturing Center. Also, one of the things that we already embarked on is that of our work on AI. I'm not sure whether you were part of our celebration here last June, but we held the first AI Amazing Day, the first day of AI here in the Philippines in collaboration with MIT RACE, our responsible use of and sustainable use of AI for education. We also collaborated with Asian Institute of Management, UNILEV Foundation, and the Center for Integrated STEM to deliver the AI Amazing Day. And we had workshops, and we will continue to deliver this, not just for that year, for this year, but in the coming years. So we're looking for a bigger day of AI in 2024. We also have responsible use of generative AI in STEM education. We started with a webinar, but it's soon becoming an established program here in UP NISMED. And we're just making sure that teachers understand how to leverage the use of AI, but we underscore that responsible use and how to also make sure that it's modeled among students. I have not included in this slide, but we are working with Schools Division Office of Pasig to develop an AI and computational thinking curriculum, and also help them in the learning space that will support the delivery of this AI and computational thinking curriculum for basic ed. Other programs and initiatives that are actually forthcoming, and I hope that you'll be able to join us here. We are also using Arduino and Microbit in making microcontroller projects for classroom use, making sure that teachers understand how Arduino and how microbits can be used, of course, aligned with the existing curriculum that is being implemented. I know that for teachers, there's resistance if you don't see that alignment. So no matter how sophisticated or effective the technology is, if you don't see where it will be placed in the curriculum, then it will not matter. And that's one of the roles of NISMED, that is actually to translate how these technologies can be placed or positioned within the curriculum in the Philippines, the first step. Also, transforming education and research through generative AI. So it's not just about teaching and learning, but also doing research. I know some of the teachers here, you're embarking on action research, you're embarking on other forms of research, and part of the things that we're doing is to make sure that you can use AI for doing so. We also have programs for empowering teachers through mobile app development. We will also have Crafting Tomorrow's Innovators 3D printing training for teachers. You saw earlier that it's just for senior high school, but we are actually broadening the program such that other teachers will be able to use 3D printing. So not just for STEM teachers, but also for TVET teachers and for TVET trainers or TVL teachers. Also, in the next slide, we are doing data science essentials for educators, empowering teachers to integrate analytics for a more informed teaching and learning. And we are working through the UNESCO UniTwin network for quality teacher education, particularly with the Korean National University of Education, of course, UP College of Education, and NISMED, working on a training on digital competence and lifelong learning here in the Philippines. So that's it for digital competence. Now, let me shift gears and talk about lifelong learning. First is the context of lifelong learning. Earlier, you've seen in the World Economic Forum Future of Jobs report, you saw their curiosity and lifelong learning as one of the top skills on the rise. Why? This is the answer. Your curiosity is actually the currency of progress. If you don't remain curious, chances are that you stagnate, and chances are that you'll not keep up with the rapidly changing development in the world, not just in education, but in society as a whole. And so the OECD actually identified that there is this decreasing participation as we age, participation in other trainings. And that is actually a sad reality. In fact, they identified that on average, only 1 in 10 adults participate in non-formal education and training. So sometimes after, getting our degree, we stop there. But that should not be the case. And so one of the things that we want to embark on for NISMED and its commitment to lifelong learning is that of using STEM and connecting it with life learning approach. What is life learning approach? We're looking at lifelong learning, we're looking at life-wide learning, we're looking at life deep learning and life-wise learning. This is one of the things that I learned in Singapore when I stayed there as a visiting scholar. What is lifelong learning? Learning with purpose. We connect the STEM learning, the STEM concepts, make it relevant, making sure that what they learn through STEM has actually a purpose. Second, life-wide. Learning connected to real-world context. As we saw earlier, the regression and sometimes lagging behind in terms of attaining the Sustainable Development Goals, we want to make sure that STEM education, STEM teaching and learning has a connection to real-world context, particularly our attainment of the Sustainable Development Goals. Third, life deep, learning for mastery. Mastery is actually the North Star of lifelong learning. We want to make sure that we don't just have what you call a superficial understanding of things in STEM, but making sure that through the years, this deep understanding of what STEM is and what matters in STEM and what matters in society can carry through. And lastly, life-wise, learning beyond self, using STEM as an agent of change for our society, making sure that skills and competencies learned through STEM will be used for the good of the society. So these are some of the lifelong learning programs and initiatives. I'm documenting the different programs that we have for younger kids, for younger children, and then later on for those in school, and then for TVET. So we have this partnership with the ABC Plus, through RTI, on advancing basic education in the Philippines. Particularly, the assignment of UP NISMED is on numeracy. So our NISMED team, headed by Dr. Ida Yap, our former director, developed training and toolkits on numeracy for young children. So this is one of our main initiatives, making sure that numeracy is well entrenched among children. Second, we have this partnership with UNICEF on digital stories and apps. Earlier, you heard Doc Moana when we were launching the new resources of UP NISMED. These are not just stories, but these are STEM stories talking about a bigger issue, talking about sustainability, talking about conservation, talking about the importance of numeracy, and being able to connect numeracy to real life scenarios. So we are on track in terms of developing a lot of stories and also apps intended for a basic education. Also, part of the lifelong learning approach, before I move here, because it's already about career, in the middle for formal schooling, although I don't have a particular slide for that, but I want to echo the legacy of NISMED through the years about STEM education. We have established inquiry-based learning. We have several trainings of that already. We are leading lesson study in the Philippines. We have several groups who have been working with us on lesson study. We are also working on different lesson exemplars. We have produced lesson exemplars in the past, and we are producing lesson exemplars in tune with the revised Matatag curriculum. Although we are not contracted to develop that, but we will soon release the lesson exemplar coming from UP NISMED, coming from the University of the Philippines, Diliman. Also, we have a lot of initiatives in terms of space education. We're working with the Philippine Space Agency. We're working with what you call this, sorry, I forgot the term. We're working with DZUP for broadening our reach. Also, we have the Kasama Teachers community for making sure that we reach out to other educators as well. We bring to them, for example, access to our observatory through our extension services, through our Kasama Teachers community webinars. In the pipeline of STEM, we are also taking care of them. We developed this STEM career guidebook in collaboration with the Department of Science and Technology Science Education Institute. So this was the first item that we developed, a career guidebook for students entitled Finding North in STEM. And then just the other day, we were in Iloilo to launch the completion of the entire series. We launched what you call the Teacher STEM Career Guidance Toolkit. So the helping teachers, guide the students more using, effective strategies for doing so. And we also have the Parents Quick Guide to STEM, making sure to raise the awareness of parents on how STEM education is needed and on how STEM professionals are needed to make sure that we grow our country's economic development. And so we have Parents Quick Guide both in English and in Filipino to make sure that we are inclusive, we are reaching parents coming from all walks of life. Also, just before this, we have an upcoming activity in collaboration with the International Labor Organization, just attached to lifelong learning. We are also partnering with the Center for Integrated STEM Education on STEM in Tibet. The integration of STEM in technical vocational education and training, and STEM in technical vocational and livelihood education for the basic education sector. So we have a STEM in Tibet summit this coming December, and we hope that we'll still be able to participate. This will be announced very soon, and this will happen on December 13 and 14, just before we end 2023. Now, in the next slide, talking about futures and sustainability actions. Earlier, we're aware of the SDGs, but this is another picture of what the SDG look like and how they are interconnected. And it's not just about, the people, the economy, the society, but looking at these different levels, from economy, society, and a bigger picture, of course, a more inclusive picture, including the biosphere. And so what are the things that we have been doing in terms of futures and sustainability actions? Because in the next slide, I would also like to bring your attention to the importance of developing green skills. The International Labour Organization identified that there will be 24 million jobs by the green economy by 2030. And so if there will be green jobs, of course, they will require green skills. And so we need to understand how we can actually anticipate those demands. Also, some shifts in the green skills. There are 4 shifts in labor market for green jobs and skills that we need to understand. One is that the expansion of skills and scope in existing sustainability roles. There will be job roles about sustainability manager, sustainability expert. So currently we don't have degree programs for that, but there can be micro credentials or certifications tailored for the needs on sustainability experts. Also, there can be green skills even for non-specialist roles. So companies will have sustainability rules, responsible consumption and production. So even technicians need to understand sustainability principles. Transition of workforce from unsustainable sectors to new roles. The ADB, the International Labour Organization, they identified that one of the things that we should anticipate is the development of renewable energy companies and jobs here in the Philippines. And if we don't have, the human capital development for that, then we will lack the necessary manpower to deliver that. So there's this greater shift towards the use of more renewable sources of energy, and we need the manpower to deliver them. And lastly, there are demands for green skills in emerging green sectors and organizations. So these are a lot of things happening in terms of green skills. And so what is UP NISMED doing? We are doing things on futures thinking. So we did this last year. We hired the Ars Electronica in collaboration with the Austrian Embassy of Manila. We had the Future Lab Academy, and we focused on STEAM for humanity. This was pre-summit activity for the 3rd Integrated STEM Leadership Summit that we did together with Center for Integrated STEM Education. We also had this recent visioning workshop on futures of Philippine STEM education, and I'd like to recognize academician Joey Balmaceda, who led us to do this together with the National Academy of Science and Technology. So we had a very good output coming from the workshop, and we can't wait to share with you the output, because this will be launched as a book on futures of Philippine STEM education next year, of course, through the National Academy of Science and Technology, the technical working group led by Dr. Joey Balmaceda. We have a lot more to do in terms of sustainability, and so NISMED is actually committed to a lot of other projects and initiatives, and we're looking for our partners. We're looking for stakeholders who want to work with us in making sure that we do something on sustainability actions. And so as I wrap up my presentation this morning, and as I make you understand the commitments of UP NISMED in terms of digital competence, lifelong learning, and that of futures and sustainability actions, I want to again bring you this proxies for understanding STEM and what it's all about. STEM is skills and tools for inquiring minds. STEM is skills and tools for employment. STEM is skills and tools for entrepreneurial mindset. And lastly, and more importantly, STEM is skills and tools for empowered citizenry. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Sher. So you see, Dr. Sher presented the research and extension agenda and related to STEM. And it just started this year, 2023, and the agenda will end on in 2027, pero ang dami ng activities ng NISMED. And because of our collaborators also and partners. So we will now proceed to the question and answer portion. May I call on again Dr. Sher and Dr. Mona Sasing, please here. And Miss Ma'am Cyril, our Deputy Director for Research, Administration, and Dr. Mona Sasing, our Deputy Director for Research and Extension, to answer the questions of our participants here in the auditorium and from Facebook and YouTube. So let me just pull out the cheat sheet for the questions coming from Facebook. Where's Madam Cyril? Is Ma'am Cyril here? Okay, so Dr. Mona and Dr. Sher, ito po ang mga tanong, graded recitation, no? So coming from Max Walsh, ano ba? Pinoy ba to? Pinoy ba to? Okay, to. Remember, ito po yung tanong niya. Remember that STEM is not a subject in the school curriculum. So we rely on science and math teachers to promote it within their subjects and seek ways to make interconnections between all school subjects as well as science and math. Wala naman talagang major in STEM education. The question now is, Dr. Sher and Dr. Mona, how best to do this?
Thank you very much, Max, for the question. Max, we were able to work with him for the Basic Education Development Plan 2030 of DepEd. And of course, the first and foremost thing that we need to consider is making sure that foundational concepts of science and mathematics are well developed. Without that necessary foundation, the mastery of those concepts, we'll not be able to do a better integration or connections among these different things. Then second, making sure that you connect what you learn to something that's relevant to your experience as a student. So because in the science of learning, if you are able to see the connection between what's being learned in school and what's needed at home, in the community, then that's much better. So that's one way to do, integrated, relevant STEM education. Third is making sure that we expand beyond STEM. STEM is not just about our main field of science, mathematics, and ICT. It's beyond that. It's more on making sure that you put it to good use, solve real-world problems. That's why it's important, and the way to do that is to develop the science process skills. The inquiry skills, you start with the basic observing, inferring, measuring, classifying, and later on progress into more a sophisticated process skills of being able to inquire, investigate, and of course, develop solutions.
Thank you, Dr. Doc Mona. Do you want to add on that?
Yeah, I'll just add a little. In fact, UP NISMED started training teachers on the use of project-based learning in teaching STEM during the pandemic. And the teachers appreciated much the learnings that they have and realized that they can actually integrate at least 2 of the STEM fields. So it doesn't mean that when you're in the early grades, you can't do it. These teachers whom we've trained have started to do it. So I think we can all do it.
Okay, there's another question. Thank you, Dr. Mona. AI, Internet of Things, robotics, and other opportunities of STEM education all help accelerate on one hand, and then skills development for those with access to this, and widen on the other hand. Inequality, sabi nga. A whole system approach was mentioned to provide, hypothetically, the balance. How does this balance look like in the context of what NISMED does, as well as in the context of most of the Philippine classroom? Anonymous po ito. Ayaw magpakilala, pero napakaganda ng tanong. Doctor?
Although I presented, some digital solutions, digital platforms and tools, and of course, trainings offered by NISMED, But I want to emphasize that we are not just working on the high tech. We're all still working on the low tech. We're still working on some offline activities. And actually, in the process of strengthening our lifelong learning advocacy, we are exploring other ways, other mechanisms for making sure that we reach the last mile schools. We reach those that are considered to be digitally disadvantaged. So we are preparing also programs for that. But sorry if there seems to be a bias in the presentation, but let me just make sure that we are doing non-digital and also digital solutions for advancing STEM education.
Doc Mara?
Yeah, and if I may add, I'd like to thank our partners, UNICEF Philippines, for supporting this goal for us to be able to reach out not just to regular students, but to disadvantaged young learners through our digital stories and apps, which cater not only to regular students, but even to visually impaired students. So if you view the stories there, they're accessible materials that visually impaired students can also read. No? And also, our HSES group is planning to conduct a training for schools, DepEd schools who received during the pandemic the telescopes, about 4,000 of them, and they don't have trainings yet. So the group of Sir June, where's Sir June? They're actually planning to reach out to these schools to conduct trainings to these teachers. So hindi naman po siguro nahuhuli, no? Meron po, in fact, may digital telescopes, may astronomical telescopes ang 4,000 schools. Ang kulang nila is training, and that's where NISMED will come in. And hopefully next year, mag-start po ang HSES to pilot the training. And then also, the group also of Sir June, the one being showcased right now sa baba, particularly the satellite antenna, it's an activity that makes use of readily available materials. So hindi po kesyot may tech na ganon ay hindi po namin kino-consider yung alam po namin yung sitwasyon sa field. That's why nakatatak po yan sa mga activities ng NISMED na even the video of the chem, the one that demonstrates the ionic compounds, I think they are making use of the materials readily available at home. So, dahan-dahan po, ina-address natin yung gap, no? And salamat po sa partners natin.
Ayan. Just an update, Doc Mona, yung pilot testing ng activity sa telescope ay will happen this coming month, December po, from Earth Science. And also, sabi nga ni Doc Mona, ina-assess po namin yung mga resources sa field, like yung sa mga activities ng Earth Science po, mga mura lang po yung mga materials na yon. So, kasama rin po dun sa guidebook na naka-display doon. So, pwede niyo po siyang puntahan. Okay. Meron po bang tanong mula sa auditorium? Yes, sir. Please approach the microphone. Introduce yourself, your affiliation, and your question.
My name is Rolly Alante. I have to make a confession. I'm not from the academe. 10 years ago, or rather in 1980s, my company was invited by the Department of Labor in a symposium facilitated by Nieves Confisor. At that time, ILO was the sponsor. So I went to I'm an engineer, so I went to our to our department in charge of accepting students or for employment. And what they told me is that out of 10 candidates, only 2 passes the validation exam, which is composed mostly of psychological testing and abstract reasoning. Now, 25 years later, we're still talking of this thing. The second issue that I'd like to raise is actually related to Dr. Scott's discussion, which says that innovation and creativity is a human trait. Do you know that there is a study that 2-3 years after a student goes through the basic education, they are losing already 80% of their innovative capacity. Now, you don't have to ask me about this, but you just wait until your child goes back from school and starts telling you that sabi ni teacher ganito. The reason being, in school, we are taught that the purpose of thinking is to be right. My mentor in critical thinking taught us that the purpose of thinking is actually to be effective. Linearity in thinking process is an offshoot of Western Greek philosophy. And the last issue that I'd like to raise is K-12. In K-12, you have a segment called entrepreneurship. Look at the curriculum. I am an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship is about exploration. Lots of subjects being taught in entrepreneurship is about business. Business is about exploitation. Those two paths will never meet. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Doctor, comment on that, please.
I just greatly appreciate the comments and issues raised by us, sir. And we have our partners here also. And thank you. I think those are very great insights in terms of moving forward with our programs. No, we have the International Labor Organization. I'd like to recognize Lights, Viloria Lights. She's the National Project Coordinator of Women in STEM. And the STEM in Tibet Summit that we are holding this December 13 and 14. We have a session actually on entrepreneurship, and hopefully we'll be able to invite you to provide more information. And also we have another component there on harnessing the power of digital economy. So also digital platforms and tools for businesses. Thank you.
Doc Mona, you would like to add on that or okay na? Okay. How about others po who would like to okay, ma'am na naka-blue saka si ma'am na naka-blazer. Please introduce yourself, ma'am, your school or agency and your question.
I'm Rovila Bastida po from Manila Science High School. So you mentioned earlier about the 3D printing curriculum. My question is, how can we partner with you for the 3D printing curriculum, or how will it be taken to the Department of Education? Thank you.
Okay, on partnership, Doc Mona ba o Doc Sher?
Actually, we are working with different partners right now. I have an initial meeting because we want to understand your context. Like initially, what is the placement? Is it going to be an elective? If there is space in your implementation in the Science High School. We talked with some of our future implementers, and they have a space in their curriculum. And then we make sure that we follow the curriculum guide of, let's say, if it's going to be for the technologies, there's this subject in DepEd, right? So we follow the curriculum guide. We prepare the components, making sure that it will fit within the curriculum guide. So, but we need to have like initial meetings just for us to understand the context, and we can customize the curriculum for you. But we also administer pre and post tests just to document whether the implementation is effective. As we grow the proof of concept, then we are actually moving forward and presenting it to the central office, the Bureau, the Department of Education. So, ma'am, please get in touch with us so that we can partner with you for your 3D printing implementation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. May I add, because since the curriculum has so many research subjects, and actually for Manila Science, we've developed before a research which use a 3D printing tool. So that's why we're very interested in it, because it's very new to teachers, no? However, the students are very good in researching. As Mr. Scott said, they can Google it, they can use YouTube to know how to use the 3D printer and the about of it. However, that's why we are very interested to the 3D printing curriculum, because the teachers are somewhat left behind, because the students are really fast approaching these types of technology. So thank you very much for the information about it. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Part of the curriculum transfer is also the capacity building of teachers. So we will not, leave you behind or left you alone implementing it. Thank you po.
Yes, that's a part of the training package. And let's have another question from ma'am, and then followed by sir. And sir again. So we still have 2 questions. May time pa naman, diba? Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Name and affiliation po question.
Okay. Good morning. Sorry I'm late. I was on a call. Good morning. Lights from ILO, Women in STEM, Skills for Prosperity, Women Entrepreneurship. I wasn't able to see the whole research agenda. However, and I think we've in a way discussed this for our work on indigenous peoples communities, right? And we had a very good experience with the, is it System or NISMED? System and NISMED, when we integrated STEM and TVET in our curriculum in Abaca grading and classification, which was piloted in the Akyanon, Bukidnon of Aklan. And this was before you think like, okay, these are IPs. No, these are farmers. These are farmers who belong to the indigenous peoples community. And what the team did for integration of STEM was they were explaining each competency. They explained the science, but they also converted it to the vernacular so that the farmers can understand it, right? So my question is, for the research agenda, will you be looking at, and this one we did with the Aklan State University. She, Dr. Vedasta was a crop scientist. She knew everything how to increase farmers' yield in Abaca, but she was missing out on how do I explain that to the farmer. And the farmer would usually be, their educational attainment would only be primary school education. So my question is how, number one, are you looking at collaborative researches with our Aklan State Universities, with state universities, which have great extension services that reaches out to the community? Because I think in education, it's important for us still to reach the underserved. And especially we have young, right? We have learners there who might be afraid to go to the city, to the town, because they get discriminated on because, uy, taga bundok, uy, taga, and, we're losing out on that. That's number one. Number two, are we looking at, will you be looking at research also in pedagogies in bringing science to underserved communities? I think it will break that divide, or at least break that stigma that STEM is for smart people. No, STEM is for all, right? And when we are able to explain to underserved communities, this is how science is used in your community, this is how it can increase your incomes, then it becomes a need rather than something the smart people only do. I don't know. So number one, collaborative research with the state universities, especially for STEM pedagogies or STEM research areas for the communities. And then number two is research on pedagogies for STEM, especially focusing on our learners from underserved communities. Okay, thank you.
Doctor?
Thank you very much, Lights. She's a very good collaborator when it comes to STEM, particularly for workforce readiness and development. Yes, Lights. Although I wasn't able to really discuss in detail the research and extension agenda of NISMED, but we are heavy on diversity and inclusion. So we are committed to that also. And in terms of collaboration, earlier when our chancellor was here, and of course we're talking to Dean Jerome, we're really talking about expanding the collaboration of the University of the Philippines to other state universities and colleges, and so that can be part of that. And then regarding pedagogies, actually all the things that we do, there's this accompanying research. So we do programs, but there is a pre and post assessment, so that we'll be able to document the effectiveness. And that will go hand in hand with the diversity and inclusion agenda that we have. We have several groups anyway working here, and there can be one group that's dedicated to that, so that will be able to cover all the bases. Thank you.
Okay, just to give detail din, no, yung underserved school and yung, which is actually the last mile school, it's under the theme 1 of our RNE agenda developed just this year. Okay, so last 2 questions na po tayo. We have Sir wearing in white polo and followed by Sir wearing in blue polo. Yan. Name po, affiliation, and your question, sir.
Good morning po. Mr. Jojo Petalino po from Education Production Training Services. So our company is providing mobile planetarium and robotics training. So actually napo-frustrate na po nga ako sana, but magmula nung nagkaroon ng immersion yung anak ko dito, na-encourage po ako dun sa inyong immersion. And ang problema po kasi, even sa aming mga private companies, gusto man po namin mag-extend ng technology sa schools po natin. The problem is, ang tanong, magkano? Financial aspect po ang problema. So paano po ba kami gusto namin magkipag-collaborate sa UP para matulungan din yung government natin? The problem is, ganun din ang kanong government, walang pera. Always pera po kasi ang question doon. Sa amin naman mga private, hindi naman po kami makapunta sa isang lugar na wala din po pagdating po doon, ay bawal kasing mangolekta. Ganun po. Sana matulungan kami nung government agency. Actually, during the time of President Duterte, sumulat na rin kami noon sa DOST. But until now, walang sagot. Kasi gusto po sana namin fan. So, unti-unti po, doon sa mga training, nabigyan namin ng training, nabibigyan po namin sila ng robot. Nabibigyan po namin sila. And also, nagbigay na po kami ng 3-year development plan sa robotics sa DepEd. Pero, alam nyo po, kami po nakarating kami doon sa mga bulubunduking lugar ng Nueva Vizcaya, mga native. Yung mga bata po, naglakad sila ng 5 hours just to attend the training. Alam nyo po ba sa lahat ng mga nakita namin, wag lang po sanang limitado ang technology. Based po doon sa experience po namin, mas magagaling po yung wala sa STEM. Ibinigay po namin ito sa lahat ng estudyante. Pero sa observation po namin, marami po tayong magagaling na estudyante but they don't have opportunity for different learning. So paano po natin, yun yung po sinasabi nating gap. So maganda po yung program ng UP NISMED na sana hindi po selective lang yung pagbibigay natin itong inyong technology po na to. Bigyan po natin ng lahat ng estudyante ng exposure sa lahat ng technology so that yun nga po yung makakuha natin yung STEM, yung mindset to discover their talents and interest ng mga student. Hindi lang po tayo magiging within the box. So, let's get out of the box. Lalo na dun sa mga estudyante po natin. So, sana matulungan kami ng UP SMED, yung mga private entities na ipaliwanag sa government na wag po natin sanang pagkaganitong mga activity, i-discourage po kasi yung pangungulekta eh. So, doon na po natitigil na po yung mga estudyante. In fact, hindi naman government ang magbabayad. Parent, alam niyo po ba yung mga parent willing silang mag-invest para doon sa mga bata? Kaya lang, dinidiscourage na po sila. So, paano niyo po ba ma-address yung financial problem? Kasi kahit po gustuhin po ninyo, pagdating po doon sa mga kasi walang pera. Pera ang pinag-uusapan po kasi dito. Hindi naman po tayo pwedeng mag-invest ng laway lang. So, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, sir, on issues on financing STEM education and government support. Doc Sher and Doc Mona.
That's thank you, sir. But that's quite a difficult question to tackle. But NISMED is somehow in the position to partner with other agencies that can actually fund the development. But because we're a government agency, somehow we are able to share it freely to the other stakeholders. On that aspect, NISMED can be, a conduit for that, or a facilitator of that, being able to reach more because the development is funded, and then we can share the resources because they're developed through a project. But there's also one question that we need to address, and I have to say that that's part of the next strategic planning of NISMED, and that is how do we reach scale and how do we multiply ourselves and making sure that whoever we partner with will be able to deliver our programs effectively, even though because we are 90 in the institute, but the Philippines is quite large. We have about 28 million learners, about 1 million teachers. So our strategies are actually geared towards reaching scale, reaching more. So I don't have the definitive answers yet, sir, but it will be tackled in our strategic planning for 2025 and until 2030, 2029.
Thank you, Doc Sher. And Doc Mona?
If I may add, sir, yung STEM immersion po namin is open to all, no? Yun nga lang, yung mga nearby schools can actually join, no? Let your students join the STEM immersion program of NISMED. But I'm happy to inform you na the DOST-SEI is willing to support yung STEM immersion, and we're going to open this nationwide. So magkakaroon po ng wide selection po so that we can reach out to students from, not just from the NCR. And with regards po dun sa activities sa school or yung the students can access yung mga tech-based, I think the school leadership is crucial. There are school principals who are really very good in sourcing out yung mga pondo for such activities. And I think we can also start small. Pwede pong yung company po ninyo, sir, can give something to a particular school just to pilot, part of your corporate social responsibility probably. And then pwede pong magsimula dyan until may maka-pick up na DepEd Division or sa Nueva Vizcaya or ISIA, for example. So pwede po tayong mag-start ng ganun po.
I just want to add to the immersion. Sorry, this is part of the lifelong learning as a component. No? We open our doors for immersion. So we have the homeschooled children from CFA at go to our place. So CFA pa nandito po sila. And then this December, we're opening our doors to UP Integrated School. Meron po kaming, ang UP NISMED po kasi aside from the laboratories and of course the observatory, meron po kaming hostel at meron printing press. So we're catering to ABM, UMS, and of course STEM. Meron din po kasi kaming AV group, so yung Science Communication group, because we have a radio program also through the DZUP. Tsaka may mga newsletter, so yung Science Com din ay parang na-address. So sa NCR po, schools na nandito, get in touch with us po if you want to partner with us regarding immersion. And to reach more students later on, yun nga po, even VOST scholars, no, we're opening our doors to them so that they can use the lab. Maganda rin po kasing silang pupunta rito because they will be immersed in an authentic laboratory, observatory, yung hostel, yung printing press, so the works no, ng isang STEM institution. May mga limitation din kasi if hindi naman sila mag-i-immerse po dito. So yun din yung drawback noon. So NCR schools, and then yung mga from outside of NCR, we have also partners. So like MSU IIT, Philippine Science High School. So we're open po no, for immersion, and we'll have open lab, especially for kids ng summer. Para po sa ganun ay they get to become interested in STEM early on.
Thank you, Doc Sher and Doc Mona. No? Ay, Doc Mona, yes po.
Lang ako. Actually po, I just would like to share na the pandemic brought something good to us, no? In the sense na it opened a new opportunity for NISMED to reach out to remote areas. So we started, the Kasama Teachers community, headed by Celia Balpin, started the virtual stargazing in collaboration with Sir June's team. So nakarating po sila hanggang Mindanao. So yung aming stargazing noon na para lang sa NCR and nearby provinces ay was able to reach out to as far as Sulu ba yun, Ethany? So yun, andun po si Ethany, sila po yung suki namin sa virtual stargazing. So somehow, hindi man to robotics sir, pero we also conducted trainings, webinars on the use of technology. I think it was Jobeth and the PISAI teachers to reach out to teachers, training them on how to integrate the use of technology in teaching physics. So, libre po itong mga webinars na ito, maiiksi pero tutok po. So, bantayan nyo lang po yung KTC at saka yung NISMED FB page and even the Go Teacher Go na page ng NISMED. At marami po kaming free webinars for teachers.
Okay, thank you. So nakikita natin, no, based on the stories and description nila Doc Sher and Doc Mona, there's a strategy and pattern to address issue on STEM financing and government support. NISMED offer it for free for a small group muna, and then we integrate research to provide evidence on effectiveness, efficiency, relevance, and sustainability. And eventually, this will be observed by the government at the regional division, regional and lately ay sa national level. That's why meron tayong funding next time sa DOST SEI. SDO Pasig at SDO level, di ba? Division level, nakita rin nila. So ganun po yung partnership. For those who are watching us on Facebook and YouTube, email na po ang NISMED for partnership and also for future funding sources na ating manifesting para maging inclusive ang STEM education. And finally, one last question from Sir. Akala niyo nakalimutan ko na siya. Sir? Your name, sir, affiliation, and question or comment.
I'm Mr. Ador Villafria from Division of Marikina City, and I am the supervisor in mathematics there. Sagutin ko muna yung tanong kanina ni Sir. May pera, sir. Pero ang tanong, tama po ba kaya ang pinagkakagastusan? Okay.
Ayun, may sumagot.
Sinasabi ko po yan kasi experience natin yan. Tuwing matatapos ang taon, ang daming inilalabas na pera for training and so forth. No? Pero tama po ba kaya ang pinagkakagastusan ng perang inialat for that particular projects or activities or programs? No? Pero ang tanong ko po ito, ha? Okay. Robotics is an application already of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Am I right? Okay po. So, ang ano ko lang po dito is like people in as prestigious organization like UP NISMED, no? since also isa to sa inyong mga mission and vision, how can you help us to persuade o tama po ba kaya yung term kung persuade or convince, no? To introduce robotics as part of the curriculum in mathematics and science so that they can allot or put funds for that curriculum, materials, and rooms for robotics. Kasi sa AI, Intel. Salamat po.
Thank you, sir. From SDO Marikina, Doc Mona.
When you talk about robotics po, coding and computational thinking, there are actually some basic components. Meron tayo pa yung tinatawag na decomposition, i-breakdown mo muna, and then you define the problem, and then yung algorithm is the steps, no? For some, when they are starting with robotics, or yung coding muna, they start with, without the tech tools muna. Just understanding the rules and making sure that you are able to break down the problem. So let's say, how do I reach from this point up to that point? Let's say if you only have right, left, right, left, right, left. So the child will actually define the steps necessary to take that. And let's say there are additional constraints. You only need 5 to do. Five steps to do that. So what should be the way to reach this point? So there's a way po, the AI and computational thinking that we're developing, hopefully, although it will be used first by SDO Pasig, it's not just, when once it's implemented and evaluated, we hope to actually share the results. And I hope that SDO Pasig will allow us to share it, of course, to the central office so that we'll be able to make sure that it will reach more schools. But it's already stated by coding is a skill that's needed now. And it should not be elitist. It should not be something that will discriminate or be biased against other students. But the basic thing there is thinking. And thinking cuts across subject areas. It's beyond science and mathematics po. So hopefully, sir, will be able to succeed there, not just in science and math. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Doc Mona, final message? Anyway, thank you. So with that, concludes our... Oh, sorry, meron pa po. Sige, last from Ma'am Lights, from ILO.
Follow-up ko lang. Kasi the last two questions were actually signals on the concerns on financing for STEM initiatives, right? And it might be an area of research that you want to look at. Actually, for us, for skills, right, we looked into different skills financing, particularly from the private sector, because sometimes these initiatives, because they're new, innovative, it's not part of our budget, it's usually difficult to get funding from, but it is a need, right? So maybe, I guess from a research perspective, you look at STEM skills financing models and maybe a framework for that. So, andito ang mga kasama natin from the private sector
Alliance Philippines.
Yeah, from the private sector perspective, we're looking at may mga initiatives like Shell would have some, Unilab, right? May isang area. Yung iba hindi CSR iba kasama sa talent development. Like Emerson, right? They would have their own lab in their building that students can visit if they want to see what it looks like to work in Emerson, right? So in that way, we see models from the private sector, and it's information also for schools that they might be able to sign up for these immersion programs. But at the same time, it's also a signal to the private sector. There are companies that are actually financing STEM skills development initiatives, especially those who are very heavy in STEM. And I guess also for government, right? Where can we find these resources so that, our students won't get left behind in these initiatives? Especially yung sabi nga yung underserved communities. Naisip ko nga kanina, there should be, di ba, meron tayong mga medical missions. Baka magkaroon ng science missions, science outreach missions where you bring science to places where they don't have equipment but they can, parang yung ginagawa niyong virtual stargazing, di ba? So, some initiatives that I guess also from a donor perspective, these are clues for us like maybe this is something that we can build on where private sector and government can benefit, and teachers, definitely. Right.
Thank you very much, Lights. National Academy of Science and Technology is here. STEM Leadership Alliance Philippines, that's industry-led, is here. And of course, ILO is also organized STEM for Workforce Readiness and Development Technical Working Group, consists of government agencies and of course employment organizations here in the Philippines. So I hope there can be a way, perhaps Ms. Med can be a facilitator of that, no, for the convergence of this STEM Leadership Alliance Philippines, ILO Technical Working Group, and of course the National Academy of Science and Technology, TWG, for STEM education.
Okay, thank you, Dr. and Ma'am Light. So yung last phase ng ating last plenary talk is actually ang ganda, no? Kasi naging space siya to discuss issues, current issues coming from different stakeholders. And with that, may I call on Dr. Mona Lisa T. Sasing and Ma'am Serelina Maramag to award the Certificate of Appreciation to our third plenary talk, our speaker. And Dr. Sher, please. Please allow me to read the contents of the certificate. University of the Philippines National Institute for Science and Mathematics Education Development. And also, I would like to call on Dean Benviaje and Ma'am Calawag, the officer in charge of UPIS, presents the Certificate of Appreciation to Dr. Sherilyn C. Monterola for unselfishly sharing her valuable time, expertise, and meaningful insights as our guest speaker during the UP NISMED 59th Anniversary Public Lecture with the theme, Fueling Sustainable Growth Through Tech-Driven STEM Teaching and Lifelong Learning, held on 24th of November 2023 at NISMED Auditorium, UP Diliman, Quezon City, Philippines, signed Dr. Mona Lisa T. Sasing, Deputy Director. Hindi po siyang nag-sign ng certificate niya. Si Dr. Mona po. Opo. Okay, thank you po ulit. Dr. Yan, sige, one more. And thank you, Dr. Sher, Dr. Mona, Dean Benviaje, Ma'am Calawag, and Ma'am Serelina. Before we close our program, 4 more guests will have a chance to win the STEM Career Guidebook. May I call on Ms. Abigail Gonzalez to facilitate the last batch of raffle draws.
We are on the last batch of our giving of the STEM Career Guidebook. Again, we would like to show the 3 parts of the Career Guidebook toolkit that we are giving today. So we have guidebook for students. We also have for the career guidance counselors of your schools, and we also have for parents. So instead of having a raffle draw using our Wheel of Fortune, we will have another mechanics for the last batch of our prizes. For this last batch of our prizes, we'll have a mini game which is called Bring Me. So we will get 5 first players who will give us or bring in front a proof of liking the UP NISMED Facebook page. So first 5 po na makapagpakita na nilike ninyo po ang Facebook page of UP NISMED will receive, please go here in front po, first 5. So 1, okay, 5 na po. So please come here in front po. Dito po sa page, binavalidate lang po ng ating representatives from parang ano lang, from our auditing team. May we ask our winners to please come here in front? And may we also ask again our director, Dr. Dean Jerome, and si Ma'am Dayan from UPIS for our picture taking. Please come here in front po. Again, instant opo. Wala pong Facebook. Oh, sorry po. Sorry po ni Dean, baka daw pong Dean Facebook. Baka walang Facebook yung iba. Congratulations to our winners. Thank you so much again po sa ating mga nag-win, sa ating mga nanalo po. And thank you, Dr. Mamdayan and Dean Jerome. Now I return the floor to our MC, Dr. Ivy Medina.
Thank you, Abby. And to conclude our celebration today, may I call on Dr. Mona Lisa T. Sassing, Doc Mona, to give your closing remarks.
Thank you, Doc Ives. Ito po ulit ako. To our guests and partners, to my colleagues at NISMED, fellow teachers, magandang tanghali po sa lahat. As you have witnessed from the launching of the STEM resources and the courses, and also from the sharing during the public lectures of our esteemed guests and of our director, Dr. Sher Monterola, we witnessed the collective efforts of advancing STEM education through tech-driven initiatives. Indeed, this is not just a celebration of the year that has passed for UP NISMED, but of an enduring commitment to excellence in STEM education. Today, it's heartening to see the alignment of this event with the current trends of our dynamic world. The public lectures and UP NISMED's continuous efforts to be at the forefront of innovations in STEM education encapsulated foresights on fueling sustainable growth through tech-driven STEM teaching and lifelong learning. As we experienced the depth of knowledge and passion in the sharings of Dr. Scott, Dr. Ethel, and Dr. Sher, we are reminded of UP NISMED's crucial role, and you, STEM teachers, your crucial roles in shaping the trajectory of STEM education in our nation. The commitment to tech-driven STEM teaching signifies a recognition of the ever-evolving landscape of education, where technology is not just a tool, but a catalyst of transformative learning experiences. We put emphasis on lifelong learning as it echoes our mission, our vision of a society where STEM education knows no bounds. We assure you of UP NISMED's dedication to fostering a mindset of continual growth and adaptability to serve as a beacon, guiding us all towards a future where curiosity is celebrated at every stage of life. As we enter a new chapter in our institution's history, be with us, and together, let us carry the inspiration gained from the past decades into our respective spheres. Let us champion the cause of STEM education for nation building, drawing from the insights shared today and actively contributing to shaping our nation's future where sustainable growth is fueled by the enduring flame of knowledge. We'd like to thank everyone for gracing this occasion, for being with us in our 59th anniversary celebration. Thank you also to all my colleagues who worked hard and also for their commitment to make this event a success. Here's to an enduring journey of STEM learning that lies ahead. Magandang tanghali po sa lahat.
Thank you, Dr. Mona. Let me make a few announcements before we formally end the program. For our participants, to receive your e-certificate of participation, please answer the evaluation form. For our participants in the auditorium, you may access the evaluation form by scanning the QR code posted around the room. For our online participants, you will receive an e-certificate of attendance. The link is posted from the Facebook comments section. The link for the evaluation form will be open until 11:59 p.m. on Monday, November 27 tonight, 2023 only. Next Monday pala yun. Moreover, a certificate of appearance is also prepared for those who need it. You can get it from the registration table. The NISMED 59th anniversary public lecture has come to an end, and I hope that you found the discussions and presentations to be informative, engaging, and valuable. Thank you to all our participants, both on-site and online, for joining us today. Again, we are hoping that you share your experience today on all of your social media accounts. And don't forget to use the following hashtags: NISMED Public Lecture 2023, NISMED at 59, and finally, UP NISMED. Again, I am Ivy Mejia of UP NISMED. It's my pleasure to have spent this great day with you all. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the UP Naming Mahal. Sa stage, tas harap po tayo doon. Sila muna po.